Dear participants, please ask your colleagues to join fast. Sir is already here. सर, मेरे ख्याल से सर शुरू करें अगर इजाजत हो सर।
जी सर, कोई मसला नहीं सर, करें।
जी 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 सर। So good afternoon participants. We are in our fourth day of this program of NEP and orientation and sensitization program, and today we are privileged to have Professor Dr. Muhammad Atique. He is the director of UGC Mission Teacher Training Center, MMTT, at Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, and the head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. With a distinguished academic career spanning over 30 years, Professor Atiq brings deep expertise in real-time systems, soft computing, and machine intelligence. His insightful contributions, including numerous publications, research innovations, and patents, have significantly advanced digital education and technology. Please join me in welcoming Professor Muhammad Atiq to deliver a talk on education technology in this training program. And uh, let me tell you, sir will take two sessions today. One is 2:30 to 4, and then after 30 minutes break, we will continue as usual from 4:30 to 6. So all of you are requested to be active and listen to him carefully. And whenever, if you want to ask anything, just raise your hand so that it can be taken care of. Okay, thank you very much. Sir, it's up to you, open to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Zishan Raza, sir, for introduction. Okay, actually, this program is a little bit different, as sir has rightly pointed out, that this is basically NEP orientation and sensitization. So it is expected, I hope I am loud and clear.
Yes, sir, yes.
So it is expected that the active participation of the participant is the need of this particular program, right?
Yeah.
Because this is all about sensitizing you as a stakeholder or as a teacher in the era of, you can say, the changing scenario, whatever is happening. Okay, so because our government has adopted National Education Policy 2020 in July 2020, and from that point onwards, we have recently celebrated the 5 year of its completion. So there are certain changes which have been proposed, and hopefully your institution is again it is implementing all those changes at various level. So that is what is there on the agenda, as a matter of fact. So I would be happy definitely to interact with you on various aspects. Okay, you may have your opinion. Okay, that is again not at all a problem. But as a teacher, we need to change, right? We need to change, and we need to adapt to the changing requirement, whatever is taking place around us. Because At the same time, if you look at the technological front, so there are two issues which I will be addressing, as Professor Zishan sir has rightly pointed out. That first session, I will talk about Bloom's taxonomy, wherein we will just have a look at some aspects of outcome-based education, or what it is called as in short OBE.
Yes.
And in the second session, we will have some discussion on AI tools, particularly in education and research. So this is what is there on the agenda. Okay. Uh, I was expecting that a few more of you will join, because around it's 42 participants are there.
Yes.
But anyway, we'll continue the session. Okay. Just allow me to share my presentation, and I would love to hear your comments. Okay. So there's no protocol as such. Okay. You can stop me in between as well. Rather, I will be happy to brainstorm on some of the topic, right? And some of this stuff will be just coming out of the experience, whatever little experience I have acquired over a period of 3 decades. Okay, so you need to tolerate those sorts of statement, right? Because we are all teachers, we have our own understanding of various things. And most possibly, some of you are working in this domain. You're working actively as a uh, you can say the various authorities of the universities, because I could see that your university is a state, probably state private university of Uttar Pradesh, right? And it is a multidisciplinary university. That is, you are having, if I am not wrong, you are having pharma, then you are having engineering and technology, then you are having even I think medical, I don't know, but yes,
Medical, yes. Yeah.
yeah. So these are the various dimensions, and all those dimensions we just try to look at from NEP 2020 perspective, right? So there are certain changes which are taking place at the national level, and we need to cope up with those changing requirement and all. So this is the bottom line of today's deliberation. Let me start sharing my presentation. Okay. Because I was going through the list, I could find only 2 to 3 participants from computer science. Rest all are probably from other discipline, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, sir, actually in January we have conducted the another program on NEP. You are also
Yes.
in that also.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we have covered more than 140, 50
Okay.
faculty members.
Okay. Okay.
So only those who are there in the list who have not attended that program.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you are taking it in a mission mode, if I am not wrong, and I'm really happy to see that, because uh, as a director, we are also facing problem. Okay, when it comes to number of participants and so on, but such a huge number, 100 plus, is really an achievement. Okay, and I would like to congratulate all of you, right, being a part of this particular program. Okay. So this is, as I've told you, this is what is there on the agenda for the first session. And second session, we will have some hands-on on some of the tools, particularly AI tools, okay, wherein we will be focusing on uh, AI tools for education, teaching, and maybe research. Okay, these are the 3 domains which, from where we will have our discussion in the second session. So as I said, that in the first session, we'll just try to understand Bloom's taxonomy as a pedagogical tool for teaching, learning, and assessment. Okay, and definitely our focal point would be NEP 2020 perspective, right? So let me start with this. This is what is there on the agenda as far as the first session is concerned. These are the learning objectives. Okay, wherein we will just try to have a look at various aspects of, you can say, the teaching, learning, and assessment. Okay, so we'll start from scratch. Some of the stuff you may find little bit very fundamental, particularly those who are from Atique background. But I have intentionally kept these sort of thing because when I have gone through your list of participants, my observation was most of you are from professional background, that is either engineering or pharmaceutical or other professional discipline. So, and I also belong to the same fraternity. right? So professional, those who are from professional background, we never ever undergo any sort of formal training in education technology. So that is why I feel that it is the need of the hour to understand some basic psychologies of learning and instruction. Okay, then we will move ahead with what is a teaching learning process. Okay, then we'll just try to explore the various factors which influence learning, what are the modes of learning, transfer of learning, and laws of learning. But we will not invest a huge amount of time on these aspects. Rather, we will have a cursory look at all these aspects. And our focal point would be what is assessment, what are the various tools for assessment. Okay, again, what is SAMR model? Okay, which is typically used for identifying whether a particular tool is a standard tool or not. Okay, and at the end, probably at 4 o'clock, I will offer you tea. That is wherein we will just try to have some discussion on technology-enabled assessment tools. Okay, wherein we'll just try to explore. This is again an indicative list, but we'll go beyond that. Even if time permits, we will have a look at ChatGPT or maybe Perplexity, right, and so on, right. So, having said this, let me begin with some fundamental aspects of you can say the psychological learning terminologies. Okay, I hope I'm loud and clear and you people are with me. Okay, and my slides are changing because what happens many times, okay, after 40-45 minutes somebody will come up to, sir, you are still on slide number 1. That is the only objective of asking these sort of questions.
No, sir. It is changing.
It is changing. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for the confirmation. And let me begin with, as I said, that is psychological learning terminology. So even though we do all these activities in our day-to-day life as a teacher, okay, but when it comes to having some talk on these aspects, okay, most of us, we are, I should not say reluctant, but we are ignorant about those aspects. Okay, so let me begin with what they call it as the pedagogy, then andragogy, teaching, training, and learning. So before I begin, I would love to hear from you, what is your understanding of pedagogy? Any one of you? See, again, the very purpose of asking this question is not to check your knowledge or the intellect, but is to just get you involved in the discussion. So any one of you, whether can come up with some, I hope you people are with me, and yes. So what is your understanding of pedagogy? What is your take on this aspect?
Participants, please reply.
Coordinator is very active. But Zishan sir, you are taking every effort. But anyway,
I
yes.
don't.
Any one of you would like to? Yes, even if you are joined in using your mobile phone, there is no problem, right?
Sir, it is related to the teaching methodologies, styles, etc.
Great, great, great. Teaching methodology, style, etc. Anybody else would like to comment on this? Yes, teaching methodology, you are right. It is nothing but the approach or method, or any other participant would like to elaborate further? Well, anyway, as Professor has rightly pointed out, that it is nothing but the method and practice of teaching. Okay, particularly as an academic subject or theoretical concept. That is, whatever approach you adopt when you prepare for a theory session. Okay, theory, specifically theory session, it is nothing but the pedagogy, right? So it is the discipline that deals with the theory and practice of education. I think this aspect again, Professor has touched upon. So it is, and what is the underlying principle of adopting some or the other pedagogy is how best to teach. That is in the best possible. We are all teachers, right? So our objective is always to pass on the information, whatever we have, to the students in the best possible manner. right? So the underlying principle is how best to teach. Okay, and the another name to this pedagogy is, you may call it as a theory of education, right? So having said this, this is all about, you can say, the pedagogy, but are there any specific step one has to follow for preparing for or adopting a pedagogy for a particular session? Whether it is yes or no. If yes, how many steps are there and what are they? Any idea about that? Yes.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
so
Anyone of you? Yes, yes.
yeah. I think, sir, education faculty might have better idea, but
Okay.
we have a very little idea.
Okay, okay, no issues, sir, no issue. As I said, that is the idea is having this sort of thing is many times we do it on our day-to-day basis, but we do not know exactly how they are and in what way we normally carry out all those activities. Anyway, there is a 5-step procedure, right, for adopting some or the other pedagogy. And these steps are called as the, you can say, the preparation, presentation, association, generalization, and application. So naturally, we gather some or the other stuff from the various sources. Now you have got thousands of sources for gathering of information or preparing the handouts or maybe the notes, right? And then what do we do? Normally, we go for a sort of what they call it as either a PowerPoint presentation, just like now I'm going ahead with this presentation. Okay, but while delivering in the class, it is expected that we must try to associate the concept we are dealing with. Okay, not only association is important, but generalization and application is equally important. Okay, but I would like to make it clear at this point of time that most of us, we are all good teachers, right? We are very good at preparation and presentation. But again, you have to excuse me for this kind of a bold statement. But most of us, okay, we struggle when it comes to association, generalization, and application. The only reason behind that is we normally we treat subjects as separate entities. Okay, and this is an era wherein we need to have some sort of what should I say, the interdisciplinary kind of approach. Okay, wherein the association, say, if you just try to relate the concept with some real life examples and so on, things become little bit easy to digest from the students' perspective, right? So association, generalization, and again we have very hard boundaries, I should say. Let's say, for example, mathematics is taught by only mathematicians, right? And so on. So I very well remember when I did my bachelor's, and most of you, those who are from engineering background, okay, we learn around 5 to 7 mathematics subject. And if you look at the title of the subject itself, it is called as Applied Mathematics 1, 2, 3, and so on. But that application component is most of the time, because it is basically taught by the mathematics faculty. Okay, so they are good at their subject. I am not challenging their competencies and so on, but they themselves do not know where that, let's say, for example, Z transform or Fourier transform, where it is applied in computer science. So it is typically used in digital signal processing, image processing, and so on. But they teach us that is how to solve a mathematics problem, but what are the application areas normally? And that is, I'm not criticizing anybody, that is the problem of the curriculum which is in place. Okay, so we need to address those kind of issues. Okay, and that is what this Bloom's taxonomy is all about, or outcome based education is all about, right? There is another term which was there, if you just try to recall. What is it? It is the andragogy. So what is andragogy? Is any idea about? Have you heard this term? Any one of you? Anyway, so andragogy is when you are dealing with adult learners. Adult learners meaning thereby, now if you look at the kind of input you get in your university setup, is again, they are not small kids. Okay, they are all adult learners. Okay, now in what way we need to change our approach? So for dealing with adult learners, we need to adopt what they call it as andragogy, not the pedagogy. right? So what is so special about andragogy? Any idea about it? So any one of you? All right. Doesn't matter, right? So andragogy, as I said, it is when you are dealing with adult learners. Okay, so it is the method and practice of teaching adult learners. Right. Now here there are two important components which are important. Is not only merely the theoretical aspect, but the supporting practice. That is the practical component is again, if you just look at the pedagogy, there we were talking about only the theoretical aspects, but here theory as well as practice. Okay, that is theoretical and the practical approach one has to adopt. That is one thing. And the another major change you need to carry out in your role as a teacher too, you need to change yourself from a teacher to a facilitator of learning. Okay, because now most of the time again, we as a teacher, we feel that whatever learning takes place, that takes place within the four wall of the classroom or maybe within the four wall of the institution where the student take admissions and so on. But it is not at all the case, I tell you. Right? Learning is everywhere. Okay, we learn. We are all human beings. We learn throughout our life, whether formal or informal manner. Right? That is again. But learning is everywhere, and you need to change your role from a teacher to a facilitator of learning. So in what way it will make transformation from the student's perspective? We can transform them to self-directed autonomous learner. So let's say even if because you need to understand that the student learn from their peers, they learn from their parents, they learn from the society, and so on. So it is not merely within the four walls of the classroom the learning takes place, right? So you need to change your role from a teacher to a facilitator of learning. So you need to create a conducive environment wherein the learning takes place, right? And this is how you can say that it is different from the pedagogy. And we need to adopt andragogy, not the pedagogy, right? Because the kind of input we get, they are not small kids. Okay, they are all adult learners. Okay, then again, we'll have a cursory look at these three aspects, what they call it as the teaching, okay, learning and training. Okay, so who is a teacher normally? Okay, so again, we feel that it is one of the most easiest job. Okay, and that is again the perception of the society is that teaching is one of the most easiest jobs. Let's say if you don't get any job, okay, the best place for you is. But my dear participant, let me be very clear on these aspects. Teaching is not at all easy, because if you look at the characteristics of a teacher, okay, you will be surprised to note that if you want to be a good teacher, you have to have what they call it as the creative proficiency of an artist, the precise attitude of a scientist, and the perfected skills of a craftsman. So even though I've read out these three things in a single go, they themselves are domain, right? It is not at all easy. Let's say if you are trying to teach or you are addressing to a group of participants wherein the strength is 40. So as a matter of fact, you are facing 40 challenges in front of you, because they are all different, right? Some of them, they are fast learners, some of them they are, you can say, the slow learners, and there are students in between. So but unfortunately, what do we do as a teacher? We give them similar treatment, and that is what you will witness, probably your generation will witness, maybe 4 year 5 year down the line. The products are there. If you look at what they call it as the personalized learning solutions will be in place. Okay, you will not be replaced by the robots, but in future, definitely some AI product, okay, will challenge your competencies as a teacher. Okay, so because this personalized kind of a treatment is a one-to-one sort of thing, right? And now if you look at the class strength of your classrooms, okay, it is particularly in you can say the universities and all, it is minimum 60, right? So we have to be a little bit cautious, and we need to think as a teacher, that is in what way we need to change ourselves, right? So in simple words, we need to adapt to the changing requirement. So teaching is defined as an interactive process. It is typically when some sort of interaction is there, and who are the parties involved? Uh, Classroom talk which takes place between the teacher and the students. And the another important characteristic is it occurs during a definable activities, and what is the output of teaching is the learning, thereby resulting in learning, right? So this is how we can define teaching. Okay, there is another term, that is training. Training is typically you can say organized activity aimed at imparting information to attain some knowledge or skills. Now here more focus is given on skill component. That is again integral part of the NEP 2020, wherein the government has a concrete plan to introduce skill component to all the discipline, whether it is arts or humanities or commerce and management, or maybe any other professional course, right? So skill courses, skill is of utmost importance. So training is typically for from that perspective, and typically it is of a shorter duration, and it gives you the immediate result. And if you look at the historical perspective, it has evolved during World War II, okay, wherein there was some shortage of, you can say, the uh, soldiers. So the ordinary teachers, ordinary citizens, they were trained into warfare equipment sort of strategy, and they were deployed at the war front, something like that, right? So this is all about, you can say, the 5 basic terminologies. Probably the last one is the learning. Now this is again very important to know, that is, it is relatively permanent change in behavior. What is learning? Learning is a relatively permanent change in behavior, and it is typically resulting from reinforced practice, that is doing it again and again. Now if you look at the peculiar characteristics of learning, it is a process as well as a product. Why I'm calling it as a process and a product? Because let's say whenever the student take admission into some college or maybe university, okay, he or she will undergo a set of courses, okay, that is nothing but the process. And when he or she passes the examination, final year examination, he or she leave the premises, okay, they are your product, as a matter of fact. And again, that product is evaluated against n number of parameters, okay, and then accordingly they are labeled as good or bad, or employable or unemployable, something like that. So it is the nature or tendency of human being. I think I've touched upon this aspect, okay. So it is not that is, the learning never takes place within the 4 walls. Definitely it takes place within the 4 walls of the institution, but there are other ways and means, right? So it is human tendency to learn. So we are lifelong learner, whether you admit it or not, but we are all lifelong learner. So it is the process of mental development. Now what are the you can say, the components of this mental development? There are 3 dimensions. The very first dimension is the cognitive aspect, second is the affective, and the third one is the psychomotor. And this is what is the crust of the story. If you look at the Bloom's taxonomy, okay, it talks about overall or holistic development of student, okay, wherein we cannot ignore, let's say, if we give undue importance to the cognitive aspect, which is the, you can say, the uh, fact as on date, okay, if you look at the education system, okay, and we simply ignore affective and psychomotor, again, our students will not be employable. They may be very good theoretically, but when it comes to applying that knowledge, or when it comes to, you can say, the affective aspects, okay, they will definitely fail, or they will face some or the other problem. And another important aspect as a teacher we need to understand is, it is both positive and negative. Okay, so most of the time, definitely we always aimed at having that positive kind of scenario, but the other possibility is again there, that is negative. Okay, I'll elaborate this further when we will talk about one more possibility is there, what they call it as zero. When we talk about the transfer of learning, Okay, one more possibility is there. It is individual in nature. That is, my pace of learning is different, your pace of learning is different, and somebody else's pace of learning is altogether different. And if you want to put it in a single statement, it transforms an ordinary student to a critical thinker, right? So learning is creative, right? It is creative, and where you can say this is the area wherein you can say the entire crust of the edtech setup lies. Okay, that is how you transform an ordinary student to a critical thinker. Okay, that is the aim or objective of any educational setup, right? Now, having said this, I think the foundation we have almost done with, right? Now, if you look at now here onwards, okay, I'll be talking on some of the aspects of outcome-based education, because we directly talking on OBE is not that easy, okay, and that's why I've taken these fundamental aspects in the beginning. Okay, so if you look at any education system, normally we have this kind of scenario, that is, I'm a man from computer science, right? So normally we have some inputs, okay, and then we have CPU sort of thing wherein the processing takes place, and then you get some output, desired output. Okay, now if you apply this to our educational setup, our students are nothing but the input to the system. Then we do have curriculum in place, okay, intended learning outcomes are there. That is nothing but the CO, POs, and so on. We'll talk on those aspects. And then you have achieved outcomes. Okay. And at the end, what happens is that is when the student passed out, okay, whether he is employable or professional, okay, or entrepreneur, this is what we expect, okay, ideally from our student. But again, we do have certain problems in that area. But this is a typical structure of an educational setup in general, right? So wherein the inputs are the students and the output is nothing but the graduates, okay? And in between you have got these boxes which normally interact with each other. Now, if I extend that model to a basic teaching model, it looks like this. That is, the very first block is what we call it as the instructional objectives. Then you have entering behavior. And then what is it? Then you have the instructional procedure. Okay. And at the end, if you just try to recall, okay, how do we declare them whether they are first class, second class, or third class student? By simply evaluating them on various parameters. That is nothing but the performance assessment, right? Now, if you just try to recall my slide number 2, that is nothing but the instructional objective. So for every session or lecture, normally what is expected is, or for every course, we have to have some learning outcomes or instructional objectives. Okay, and then what next is the entering behavior. This is basically the status of the student before joining the course. Okay, so normally whenever you undergo some corporate training, they ask you to appear for the 0-8 day test. What is the reason behind that? The reason is simply to know at which level you are before joining the course. Okay, and then what happens? They will ask you to undergo various courses. So that is nothing but the instructional procedure. And at the end, again, you will be assessed. Okay. So what was your score before and after? Okay, that is basically the kind of improvement. Okay, that is miserable. That is miserable. Now, if you typically look at this, you can say the basic teaching model, you will find that there are arrows moving rather in a cyclic manner. What does this indicate? This simply indicates that we gather feedback at every stage, okay, and whatever corrective measures are expected, normally we have to take it. Let's say if we do not take feedback, but again that is again we are most of the time, we as a teacher, we are reluctant to gather feedback of our own student. But now AICT and UGC, they have made it compulsory, what they call it as the 360-degree feedback. Okay, so wherein the feedback not only from the student but their parents and society at large is expected. Okay, and because that is, see, the idea of gathering that feedback is not to punish or penalize anybody, but is to improve the performance of the system. And that is only possible when you take the feedback, right? When you take the feedback, right? Now, having said this, this is a typical basic teaching model. Now, I will not elaborate further on these aspects. I've already told you that is the objectives are the student should attain upon completion of a segment of instruction. That is the instructional objectives or the learning objectives, what we used to call it as. Entering behavior, it describes the student's level before the instruction begins. That is before the start of the course. Then instructional procedure, it describes the teaching process. Now here you may have numerous possibilities. Okay, you may teach it in different ways and means so as to get the desired result, and the performance assessment typically carried out at the end. Okay, so which consists of the test and observation. So normally we do have maybe CT1, class test 1, class test 2, and then some marks for the attendance and other aspects. Okay, and then end semester examination is usually there. So that is performance assessment. We'll be having a look at all these components in greater detail. But before moving ahead, this is again important from NEP 2020 perspective. That is, we need to understand what are the factors which affects the learning in general. So there are some personal factors and there are some environmental factors. Now, I will not elaborate much on these because they are all self-explanatory. Say, for example, sensation and perception, fatigue and boredom, right? Age and maturation. Let's say when you are young, okay, and you want to learn something, definitely your speed of learning will be much higher as compared to when you cross 50 or 55. Okay, so age and maturation, that again is a very crucial factor in the factors affecting the learning. But the two important factors, okay, which we are normally, our education setup has ignored is the aptitude and the attitude. Okay, and that's why if you look at the NEP 2020, okay, you will be surprised that they have introduced certain courses on the aptitude and attitude. Okay, maybe the freedom has been given to you as an institution to make it as a maybe as a internal assessment by the college or something like that. But earlier these things were missing. So why aptitude and attitude is important, we need to understand. Now, if you look at the corporate, you can say the placement procedure, okay, normally they do not pick a very high performer, like say students having pointer 9.5 or 9.0. Okay, normally they pick up the student which are in between maybe 7.5 to 8.5. And when you ask them, sir, what is the reason why you are not picking up this fellow? Is very intelligent, theory, practical, all the aspects is fantastic. But why he or she has not been selected? So they come up with the simple answers that as an individual, he is fantastic. Okay, we do agree with you. But the problem is with the attitude. He is not a good fit for our company culture. Okay, or he is not a good fit for when it comes to working in a team. Okay, so we that's why we, and see, changing aptitude and attitude is not at all easy. Let's say even if let's say you are a little bit on the inferior side in terms of technical aspect or practical aspect, that can be overcome by undergoing maybe a week or 2 week training. But changing aptitude and attitude requires a lot of time and energy at it. Okay, and they are all professionals, right? They do not want to invest their money and time on that, and it is a bit difficult, right? It is a bit difficult. I'm not saying it is impossible, but it is a bit difficult to change. Then there are some environmental factors. So in a holistic manner, we need to produce students who are employable, okay, and so on. Now, having said this, let us move ahead with what are the various modes of learning. Okay, so learning is no, these are all once again self-explanatory. Learning by observation, learning by imitation, learning by trial and error. That is whatever the student learn when they work in a laboratory, right? And learning by insight is the highest. Okay, learning by insight is highest when you transform an ordinary student to a critical thinker. Okay, so which is the aim of any educational setup, right? So having said this, we need to understand what is the transfer of learning? Okay, transfer of learning is again, uh, there are three possibilities here, right? I think up to some extent we have talked about positive and negative, but there is one more possibility, what they call it as the zero transfer. So, but we are all good teachers. Normally, we aimed at having in that positive transfer kind of a scenario, okay, which normally takes place when the learning of a particular task facilitates the learning of the another task. But let's say if you are confusing the student, that is, if learning of a particular task, this is possible. I'm not saying that all the time the scenario would be like this, but this possibility one cannot ignore as a teacher, right? So when it interferes with the learning of the subsequent task, it is called as the negative transfer. And when there is no difference, it is said to be a zero transfer. Now, having said this, I think we have covered all the fundamental aspects of, you can say, any EdTech setup in general. Okay, and there are some laws, again, laws of readiness, law of practice, law of effect. Okay, so these laws are again important as a educator. We need to know all these laws. What is readiness? Ready for learning. Let's say when you enter into the class, the student says, "Sir, we do not want any session as of today." Okay, so you need to, what you need to do, if you forcefully teach them at that point of time, it will not have any kind of effect because they are in some different mood, right? So law of practice is doing it again and again. So that is again that practice makes man perfect. Law of effect, teacher should provide a good condition. This is what I was referring to. So even if you can achieve this, okay, it is more than enough, I tell you, in today's scenario. If you create a conducive environment within your classroom wherein the learning takes place, it is more than enough, I tell you, as a teacher, right? But that is again very challenging. Okay. Now, having said this, we have seen what is learning. Okay. It is, as I said, it is the permanent change in behavior resulting from reinforced practice. Okay. Doing it again and again. So if one is really learning, one's behavior becomes more effective and more adaptive. We are all human beings, right? So it has to be reflected in some or the other manner. Adaptive meaning thereby it changes with respect to time. Okay, we are all we do have that as a default setting, right? As a human being, right? We are adaptive. All human beings are adaptive. Okay, we change with respect to time and the scenario or the situation. Okay, so that is what is, and that's why it is said that the human being is the only species on the earth which is a lifelong learner. So we learn, right, throughout our life. Okay, so age is just a number, right? Age is just a number. Now there are three domains of learning. Okay, what are the, up to some extent we have touched upon this. The very first domain is the cognitive aspect. Okay, so wherein we talk about the knowledge and the intellectual skills. Okay, what is knowledge and what are the intellectual skills? Okay. Second is the affective, wherein the emotions and attitudes are important. I think I've touched upon this particular aspect up to some extent when we talked about the factors affecting learning and so on, right? So that a learner will develop. So emotions and attitude. And the third one is the psychomotor. So those who are from professional backgrounds, say engineering and pharma, okay, we do have provisions for the cognitive and psychomotor. But I think as far as the affective domains are concerned, it is needed, but unfortunately there are no courses. Okay, maybe one or two, barring few exceptions. Now this NEP 2020 has made it mandatory to include some courses on the emotions and attitude. Okay, again, it is not up to the mark once again. So ideally, this is, maybe you may have your own perception about this, but what I personally feel is we must give them equal treatment, maybe like say 34, 33 and 33%. Okay, when it comes to giving percent weightage in terms of percentage, okay, they should be given equal percentage. So merely knowledge and intellectual skill is not important, but the emotions is equally important. And let's say, even though psychomotor is there, but when it comes to actual evaluation of this psychomotor aspect, again, we do not have proper mechanism to get the desired result ideally. Because most of the time, the psychomotor aspects, okay, particularly in terms of assessment, they are taken very, very casually ideally. Okay, so merely the physical presence of the student, okay, is enough for getting through in the examination, that too in flying colors. Okay, this is my general observation, right? Maybe I'm not saying that it is everywhere the same kind of scenario is there. So that's why I said I may make some bold statement. Okay, so you may have some strong disagreement on that, but most of the time, this is my general observation. That is in Maharashtra, at least, okay, particularly the areas like, say, the Vidarbha and so on. Okay, even though examinations for practical is there, but it is just for the sake of formality, right? Now, having said this, what is the solution, right? What is the solution is to, I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is, as a matter of fact, so teaching I was referring to, teaching again cognitive, that is knowing, affective is nothing but the feeling, and the psychomotor is nothing but the doing, that is the practical skills and so on. So cognitive, we may have, you can say the understanding, problem solving, deriving a formula. I'm not saying that these are all completely useless. Okay, they are needed. They are very much needed. But at the same time, we have to have something for the values, attitude, interest, discipline, and so on. Okay, and the psychomotor must be taken up very seriously when it comes to examination and all. That is the practical skill, driving, assembling, painting, and so on. Right. Now, if you typically look at this, it is teaching at the top, and the outcome of teaching is nothing but the learning. So these are the three domains normally in which we impart instruction to the student, okay, to achieve the desired objectives, right? Now, having said this, this is KSA, wherein K stands for knowledge, S for skills, and A for attitudes. Now, if you look at NEP 2020 from this perspective, okay, they have given due importance to this skill component. So there are, so irrespective of your discipline, many times people used to say, we arts and humanities, how you will incorporate this? But now they have made it internship mandatory. Okay, in Maharashtra, we have started AEDP program, that is internship embedded teaching program, wherein the final year, say for example, it is a 4-year course, the last year, one complete year, the student will be sent for training into the industry, and they need to acquire that knowledge, and the evaluation, everything will take place at that industry itself, right? So we are moving in that direction, wherein how we can incorporate these skill component in into our education setup. Okay, that is happening with jet speed, I should say, right? Particularly in our state, we are far ahead. Okay, I'm not well aware about the scenario in your state, but probably you are again moving in that direction, right? And let's hope, right? So this is now, if you look at the you can say the theoretical foundation of this outcome-based education, what they call it as, this is the man behind the story. That is Dr. Benjamin Bloom, and the taxonomy, whatever he has given, is popularly known as the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So Bloom's taxonomy, uh, wherein he has proposed all those three domains, right? Three domains of, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Now, the beauty of this Bloom's taxonomy is nothing but the classification, and this fellow has proposed way back in 1956, and it is popularly known as the Bloom's taxonomy, right? So what has happened, this fellow was leading a group of educational psychologists, and they have been assigned some tasks to study the intellectual behavior of various schools and colleges in the United States. Okay, and what they did, they have carried out some survey, and they have come up with a theory which has, I should say, revolutionized the edtech sector. So it is basically an educational theory that categorizes levels of learning. So what he did, rather he along with his team, they have categorized into 6 different levels. And the beauty of this taxonomy is we can use this for everything in a typical educational system. Now if you just try to recall the basic teaching model, so normally we have the learning objectives as the first block and the assessment as the last. Now, if you typically look at this, okay, you can very well conclude that this taxonomy you can very well apply to any of those 4 building blocks of a teaching model. That is starting from writing learning outcomes to curriculum mapping to content delivery as well as assessment of learning levels, right? So this taxonomy you can use as a tool for any purpose, I tell you, for any damn purpose, to be very straightforward, okay, in any educational setup, okay. So what is it? It is also called as the taxonomy of learning objectives. And that's why the name outcome-based education or OBE, right? So what has happened when they carried out the survey, they found that the 95% of the test question, now if you look at the question papers, that is what their observation was, wherein we ask the student to work at the lowest possible level wherein the recall of the information is expected. Now, we are more or less similar, okay, as far as these aspects are concerned. That is, we work at the, out of those 6 level, we work at the lowest level most of the time, okay. And that's why you must have observed that whenever some NBA or NAC committee, they visit your institution, they ask you to show you the last year's or the previous year's question paper. What is the reason behind that? The reason is to simply know at which level of bloom you are working. And they come up with their critical comments, okay, stating that, well, you are working at level number 3. What about level 4, 5, and 6? Right. So higher level depends on having attained prerequisite knowledge and skills at the lower level. I'm not saying that the knowledge and the skills are not important, but we need to move a little further. Okay, so most of the time we do not go beyond level 3. Okay, so what are all those 6 level? These are the 6 level. Okay, these are the 6th level of cognitive domain, okay, proposed by Bloom, and this is popularly known as the Bloom's taxonomy of educational objective. So wherein the knowledge is the lowest, then comprehension next, application, then analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. And if you typically look at this, you will be surprised to note that, okay, the output of one is the input to the next one. That is, let's say if you do not have knowledge and skills, okay, you cannot go directly to comprehension, right? So in the similar manner, we cannot jump directly to analysis. Okay, we need to follow this 1, 2, 3, and then you can go to analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So they are in hierarchical nature. Okay. And how do we realize that at which level of bloom we are working? You need to simply look at the action verbs. Okay. So by looking at the action verbs in the question paper, one can easily conclude that at which level of bloom, as a matter of fact, you are working. Right. So wherein remember is the lowest. And now if you look at the questions, most of the time you will find that define, explain, okay, all those kind of keywords are usually used, action verbs are used, which indicates that you are working at the lowest level. Now, even if you are working at the knowledge level, again, we do have certain options. We'll have some discussion on those aspects as well. Okay, so skills, that is the knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Now, how you will identify at which level you are working? Okay, if you are using, or some paper setter is using keywords like, say, identify, describe, name, label, recognize, reproduce, follow, you are working at the knowledge level. Okay, if you are using build, make, construct, model, predict, prepare, meaning thereby you are working at the application level. Okay, and let's say if you are working, if you are having appraise, critic, judge, justify, argue, and support, meaning thereby you are working at the highest level, which is the evaluation level. But normally we do not have these kind of keywords in our question paper. Okay, up to this application, okay, some extent justify is there, but again, when it comes to actual evaluation, okay, we are little bit lenient about those aspects. Okay, justification, but as a matter of fact, it is the highest level. Now, how you can use Bloom's level? Bloom's action verb one can use for you can say the writing the learning outcomes, that is the slide number 2, if you just try to recall as far as this deliberation is concerned. Maybe for curriculum mapping, what does this mean? Curriculum mapping meaning thereby designing course outcome, program outcome, graduate attributes, and so on, and mapping them. Okay, see, this mapping is important. Many times what happens, graduate attributes, we write something else, course outcome is altogether different, and the program outcomes are. So actually they should be in line with each other. Then and then you can claim that you have properly mapped them, okay, as per the plan. Okay, so use Bloom's taxonomy to assess and measure. So this aspect again we will just try to explore in greater detail. That is how we can use it for assessment or the measurement purpose. Right. Having said this, this I will not talk much on these aspects because this itself will require, that is how to write program outcomes and so on. We will have some, you can say, the fundamental aspects of this. Okay, so you may have some common POs for maybe all UG programs. Okay, because for UG is the things are a little bit different, but for PG it is not possible to have some common POs. In our university, we have designed common POs for all UG programs. POs for UG program may vary in accordance with the program and the faculty. Let's say within the same faculty, again, you need to have, because see, let's say if you want to produce, whether you want to produce the data scientist or you want to produce the, you can say the AI expert or the generative AI expert and so on. So you need to map it in accordance to that. Okay, so POs based on GAs, that is, as a matter of fact, you need to start from GAs. Okay, again, GAs, you should not have many. Okay, it is as minimum as possible, right? Because the reason behind this is because you have a very short period of time with you, right? So it's not possible to achieve, let's say if you write down 20 or 25 GAs, so how you'll achieve within a period of 3 to 4 years? Okay, that is again one should think of, right? So these are some of the examples of the GAs: disciplinary knowledge, communication skill, maybe critical thinking, problem solving, analytical reasoning, research related skills. Let's say if you want to produce research scientists, so you need to have, now once you put this in the GA, accordingly you need to have some courses, okay, in this area, right? Research methodology and so on. Okay, but let's say in GAs you are talking something research related skills, and let's say there is no course available in that domain. Okay, how you will map it? Cooperation, teamwork, I was referring to. That is attitude and the aptitude. Scientific reasoning, reflective thinking, self-directed learning. So these are some of the examples of the GAs: lifelong learning, leadership readiness, oblique qualities. Okay, moral and ethical awareness, oblique reasoning. So what is important is you need to identify. This is again not an exhaustive list. This is again an indicative list. Okay, you may have many, okay, under GAs as well, but you need to pick in a very, you can say, methodical manner, and accordingly you need to design your COs and POs and so on, right? So course selection will entirely depend on the graduate attribute which you have shortlisted, right? Then sample POs, okay, again, maybe again most of the time it is said that one PO for each course, okay, is needed. That is not the case. As a matter of fact, you may have 4, 5 or 6 depending upon your requirement. There is no hard-coded or thumb rule that you need to have minimum 5 or minimum 6. It all depends upon your requirement, right? So, but let's say PO1, if you have jot down as critical thinking, effective communication, then you have to have courses in accordance to that, right? So effective communication, so you have to have some course on communication skill. Okay, critical thinking, so design thinking or something like that. Environment and sustainability, self-directed and lifelong learning, right, and so on. So some sample POs I have designed for CSE, but will not go into all those aspects. Okay, but some peculiar characteristic, okay, very broader perspective, one has to be, you can say, very cautious while designing the COs, course outcomes for each course. Okay, So you have to have these three characteristics present in them. That is, must be achievable, measurable, and very specific. If it is very generic, again, you will not be able to measure it, and then definitely you will not be able to achieve it. When you are not able to quantify it, how you will be able to achieve it. So normally we do have now, let's say only 3 or 4 lectures per week. Okay. So maybe 16 weeks, 16 into 4, those many number of hours you have with you. Okay, so accordingly you need to design your course, right? So it is not simply putting them just for the sake of, you can say, getting attraction from the various stakeholder. It is not at all like that, right? So you have to be very serious while, you can say, picking up the, or rather the designing the COs. Okay, and these three peculiar characteristics they must possess. That is maybe 5 or 6 you may have as far as the numbers are concerned, but must be specific, measurable, and achievable within the definite time. Okay. So you may have, let's say for chemistry, okay, first year, so you may have something like, say, apply concepts of acids and bases as well as, okay, solvent and their industrial usage, something like that, right? Again, if you look at the, you can say, the entire thing in a single go, okay, you will find that you may have this kind of a scenario wherein you need to take decision on various aspects. So as far as remember and understand is concerned, you may or may not have any COs. Okay, say for example, not to be used in COs. Okay. Now again, there is no hard-coded rule. It is up to you to decide. Okay, but you may have some 1 or 2 COs on understanding. Okay, application. Let's say we are having a course called Master of Computer Application. So in that case, it is the need of the course to have minimum 30 to 40% courses on application area, right? So then analysis, evaluate, and then create. Okay, so this way, again, this distribution is, again, it all depends. Okay, it will vary as per your course need. Okay, not necessarily 30 40 and 10 10 and maybe 30 40. You may have 20 20 or some 30 30, something like that. Okay, it all depends upon your requirement, right? Then having said this, how we can use Bloom for finding out, you can say, the no, one important thing one has to note here is the difficulty level at the knowledge or the lowest level is the lowest, and it goes on increasing when you move upward. That is level 1, it is lowest, 2, 3, 4.
Dear participants, due to power failure, Professor Atique uh, is just about to rejoin. Just wait for a bit. Okay. Yes, sir.
Sorry, actually, there was some power interruption at my house, right? So sorry for the interruption.
No.
Yes, yes. We will continue where we have left. Okay. So let me share my presentation. So I hope my slides are visible to you and you can hear me. I'm loud and clear.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Sorry for the interruption, but there are many things which are beyond our control. Okay. So
It's
anyway,
okay, sir.
yes, yes. So probably this is the slide where we have left. Okay. So what I was talking about, that is we may have our own uh, kind of weightage system. Okay. This is simply an example, but based on your requirement, you may have your own. Okay. So it is not necessary to have all the time 30 to 40 or 10% and so on. So I think probably we were referring to the difficulty level. So the difficulty level is the lowest when you are at level 1. Moment you move further, that is level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, the difficulty level goes on increasing, right? So, but before moving further, okay, we need to note one small change which has been proposed by Lauren Anderson, who happens to be the student of Dr. Benjamin Bloom. So he has proposed two small changes into the original Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, and those changes are actually quite obvious, and it is now accepted worldwide as the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So change number one, what he proposed was changing the names in the sixth category from noun to verb. Okay, so earlier we were having knowledge. So from that noun to verb, and the second major change which he proposed, it was changing the level fifth and sixth. That is creativity at the top, which is again very obvious and logical. Okay, so this is what they call it as the revised Bloom's taxonomy, wherein the say for example earlier we used to refer it as knowledge, so that has been replaced by the verb, that is remember, understand, application by apply, analysis by analyze, evaluation by evaluate, and creativity. So these the position of this fifth and sixth has been interchanged, and that is what they call it as the revised Bloom's taxonomy, which is adopted by almost all the premier institutions worldwide. Okay, so this is a revised Bloom's taxonomy, right? Now, I was referring to, that is, even if you are working at the lowest level, that is the knowledge level, there are again 4 dimensions to that knowledge. So how you can move from the lowest level in the knowledge dimension, that is, which is the factual knowledge, to the metacognitive knowledge, that is again, it is in your hand, right? So you may set questions in accordance to that, and you can achieve, even if you are working at the lowest level, but you may incorporate certain changes in your question paper, so that you are not all the time at the lowest level, that is the factual knowledge level, but you may be at metacognitive level. Now, what is it? Factual knowledge is nothing but the basic elements student must know to be acquainted, right? Conceptual is the relationship, maybe 1 or 2 element, okay, or more than 1 element. Procedural knowledge is nothing but the method of inquiry, maybe the criteria, okay, skills, algorithms, and techniques. So you may set up questions wherein you may ask some method, okay, and so on, so that you are, even though you are working at knowledge level, but the procedural knowledge, that is the highest, 3rd level, okay, and metacognitive, wherein knowledge of cognition in general, as well as the awareness and knowledge of one's own cognition. So this is metacognitive, right? Now, having said this, even if you are working at knowledge level, you can move to the highest level, that is the metacognitive, knowledge level by setting up the question paper. Right. Now, this is the another aspect, another important aspect, which is important from, you can say, this is the second domain, what they call it as the affective domain. I'll not talk much on these aspects because we do not have sufficient time. But this affective domain is basically the brainchild of Krothol's taxonomy. It is popularly known as the Krothol taxonomy of affective domain. So, wherein it is from the student's perspective, right? So, these are the 5 level. In you can say the Bloom's taxonomy, we were having 6 level. Now here we have got 5 level, and this is from the student's perspective. So student perspective: receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. So these are the 5 levels. Okay, they are all self-explanatory. Receiving meaning by thereby the student's willingness to attend the particular session. Responding means their active participation on the part of the student. Valuing means how much value they assign to a particular object. Okay, organization means bringing together different values, resolving conflict between them, and beginning the building of an internally consistent value system. So this is, as a matter of fact, all about the value system, right? All about the value system, which is nothing but the affective model. Okay, so having said this, let us move ahead with you can say the Bloom's taxonomy to assess. Okay, which is probably, I think I have told you, that is, we will have some detailed discussion on these aspects, right? So how one can use Bloom's taxonomy to assess? Let's say if you are setting questions of sort wherein the multiple choice questions are there, meaning thereby you are working at Bloom's level 1. If you are having something like summarizing an article, meaning thereby you are looking at the understanding level of the student, that is Bloom's level 2. Okay, and if you are working at analyzing a case study, meaning thereby you are working at Bloom's level 4. And let's say if you are setting up a question wherein you are asking the student to create a spreadsheet for the financial year 2025-26, okay, for income tax computation, okay, and you are providing some data. Okay, so if you are doing so, meaning thereby you are working at the highest level, what they call it as the Bloom's level 6 or the creativity level, right? Because you are asking them to create something, that is applying that knowledge into some real life scenario, right? So having said this, this is typically Bloom's taxonomy to assess. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, but before moving ahead with those assessment, what are the various mechanism of assessment and so on, we will have a cursory look at what they call it as the various problems of assessment in our country in general, maybe technical or higher education, right? So we give undue focus on certification. Now gradually what is happening is, now the formal education setup, maybe see what you know, that is becoming more important. Okay, what kind of degrees you possess, because degrees nowadays they are losing their meanings. Okay, again I am making a bold statement. Getting a PhD degree is comparatively easy as compared to a master's. I tell you, many times I used to say, because there is no value addition which is taking place in the student. Okay, because there are problems with the examination system as well. Okay, so undue focus on marks. Okay, normally we have some fixed passing criteria. Okay, 40 as the passing, 13, somebody scores 39, we declare him or her as failed in that examination. Okay, but if you look at the premier institutions like say NIT or IITs, okay, they do not have this kind of a scenario, right? The professor will decide, okay, what should be the passing criteria for that particular subject. He may set it to 20 or he may set it to 60 out of 100. Okay, so that freedom is again needed, but at the same time, the integrity of the teachers is the big question mark. Lack of, I have already referred to this, that is the 360-degree feedback. As a matter of fact, we do not have any feedback in our system as on date, right? Lack of assessment of high level outcomes. Now here I am referring to the Bloom's level. Okay, complex outcome is again completely missing. Okay, negligible assessment in the psychomotor and affective domain. I am saying so because the assessment mechanism is not so foolproof. Okay, work-based learning is used for assessing theory. Okay, many times I used to give the example for this psychomotor kind of activities. Let's say you want to go for a you can say driving license. Okay, how many of you have actually drove the car? okay, along with the policemen sitting just right. That is, see, we do it in a virtual manner, right? Most of the time now the things are, at least you have to be physically present over there, okay, for biometric authentication and all. But what I'm trying to say is the psychomotor, even though it is there, and that very similar scenario is there in our education setup. As I said, that is, if the student is merely present in the examination hall, he or she passes with a flying color, right? I mean, most of the time, not more than, not less than 20 marks out of 25. So how serious we are, that is again a $1 billion question. We need to answer this as a teaching community. Liberal marking, particularly the autonomous institution. Okay, what is happening there? All the students, they are passing with 9.5 or 9.0 as the pointer. Okay, some of the cases 8.0 is the lowest pointer. How come this is possible? Okay, normally we have to have a bell-shaped curve. Unfortunately, it is not there. Only 10% in A plus, and maybe rest of the 50% on the left hand side and the right hand side. That has to be the ideal scenario. But that is, so what do we do normally? We throw our headache to the out and let the industry decide whether they are employable or not. So we are the biggest enemy of our own student, right? Liberal marking, let's say, if you are adopting this. Lack of assessment culture and language of assessment. Okay, now here NEP has proposed some solution. Okay, they have come up with a formula, what they call it as a 3-language formula. Now you may attempt your examination not necessarily in English, but maybe in Hindi or maybe one local language. Okay, just like I'm from Maharashtra, so we have, no, we do have problems, and definitely you are also facing problems because we do not have sufficient literature in the or the books in the you can say the local languages and so on. But those, despite that, if these provisions are there, that will make our assessment mechanism more. You need to know whether the student really understand the concept or not. So languages should not be a barrier, right? So this is changing. Okay, this is where the NEP is taking certain measures to you can say find out solution to the problems whatever are there, right? Now let us move ahead with assessment and evaluation. So assessment is typically an ongoing process. Okay, normally, that's why we put an adjective in front of it, a continuous assessment or progressive assessment, something like that, right? It is after a periodical time span, okay, we conduct you can say the assessment, okay, maybe progressive assessment 1, 2 and so on. Whereas evaluation is a judgment or determination of the quality of performance or product or use of a process against. So when your student passed out, I mean, when they join some XYZ industry, so there, as a matter of fact, they are evaluated. They will be evaluated against certain parameters, and accordingly they rate, they rank. Okay, and that is what NIRF ranking is all about, right? So it is the product. Okay, what kind of product you are producing? Okay, that is decided by the industry, not by you, right? So having said this, we need to understand what assessment is, what assessment is all about, and which assessment mechanism one has to follow. But before moving ahead with that, we need to understand this phenomena, that is cooking is easy. Okay, this is an analogy. Okay, I'm giving, say, but washing the utensil is difficult. And normally what happens, normally you are this task to your better half. Okay, so similarly, delivering a lecture in a class is easy, but conducting assessment is difficult. But what happens, we take it very casually. How do we set question paper? We set question paper by gathering last 2-3 years question paper and preparing a good, right, khichdi out of it, right? Maybe one question from last year paper, another one from the some 2020 question paper, and so on. So we need to be a little bit serious, okay? But if you take it seriously, it is not at all easy. That is, if you take assessment activity seriously, it is not at all easy, right? Now here you may take help of the technology enabled assessment, right? So what is it? It is nothing but the, you can say, the use of ICT for maybe assessment purpose. Earlier, there were some problem with regard to all these tools. They were having some, you can say, shortfalls in terms of, you can say, the subjective assessment. But over a period of time, what has happened, that all these tools, they are now well equipped with this subjective assessment functionality as well, right? So where subjective means some descriptive sort of question answers, okay, the students are writing, okay, and then you need to evaluate. So that functionality is again there in most of these tools. Earlier there were issues, but now not only MCQ, but you may have ways and means to set your question papers, right? So we will have a look at all these tools, but before that, we need to look at what is assessment, okay, types of assessment. I think somewhere I've talked about this, probably the last topic as far as this session is concerned. Okay, so we do have some diagnostic assessment, then summative assessment. I'll go a little fast, but diagnostic is typically used to understand exactly where the learners stand. Okay, summative is usually carried out at the end, final course grade. Okay, that is what you call it as the end semester examination. Integrative is the activities on digital devices, right? So all these things are possible in terms of assessment. Okay, and we have ways and means to achieve all those functionalities by means of various tools. Okay, say some of the tools you may be using it. Okay, Google Forms, yes, right? But there are again numerous tools. Okay, we'll just try to have a look at all those tools, maybe ClassKick or say, for example, Answer Garden for gathering the feedback and so on, right? But before that, we need to understand that which particular tool is the best, okay, or whether a particular tool is the standard tool or not. So for assessing that, we have a model, what they call it as the SAMR model, okay, which was developed by Dr. Rubin. And what is it? It is a framework for examining how technology is adapted in a classroom. So it is, as a matter of fact, it is an analytical tool. So each character stands for something or the other. Say S for substitution. So students can fill out the forms online. Augmentation, teachers can curate the students' response on a spreadsheet. Okay, let us apply this to Google Form. So substitution and augmentation is there. Okay, what about modification? Teachers and students can collaboratively analyze contrast. Redefinition, student can reach unlimited learners all around the world. So having said this, that is all these four SAMR characteristics are present in a Google Form. So in short, you can conclude that it is a standard tool. So which one can adopt for the assessment purpose, right? Then this is hot potatoes. ये देखेंगे अपन कुछ tools in the second session, maybe AI based tools. Okay, this is quite old, but again very powerful. But the only important aspect of this tool is this is completely free. So you can experiment it on your own. Okay, we'll have a look at all these tools. Okay, it is a bundle of tools. Okay, hot potatoes. Then to conclude, okay, these are the two key takeaways as far as this session is concerned. You need to determine at which level of Bloom you are working, and then how you can move from that level. Let's say you have identified that you are working at level number 3. So how to move to level 4, 5, and 6. Right? That is the, you can say, the bottom line of this particular session. Right. So with this, just probably I'll be happy to take if there are any questions. Okay, and sorry for the interruption in between, but there are many things which are beyond your control, right?
No, sir, it's okay.
Yes.
Participants, if you have any question. Sir, if you allow me, I
Yes,
have one means
yes, sir. Please,
question.
sir. Please, please.
Sir, it is usually means believed that it's very hard to ask create level questions in theory written papers.
Okay.
And many of our colleagues and when we are discussing that they are suggesting that you should ask these type of questions during the assignments or some mini project kind of using that method, not the question paper. So is it true, or we are mistaken with some?
No, no, sir. It is up to some extent you are right. See, for all subject it is not possible. I will agree up to that point. But as I think in my discussion I have pointed out, let's say I am dealing with a subject wherein I am teaching how to compute the income tax.
Okay.
Right. So in that case, say specifically that example which I have cited, it was related to that. So instead of asking the income tax computation procedure, okay, theoretically, we may set questions in such a manner so that the students can know. But definitely, we need to give more time. Or what you can do, say for example, in this case as well, roughly the marks weightage, if you have given 10 to each question, so you may have to give maybe 15 because it will require more time. So
Yes.
that time consideration, again, you need to think from a student's perspective. So that way you can resolve it. And as I said, that it is not necessary to have maybe 50% questions of sort creativity, but at least one for the sake of example is
Yes.
needed in the question paper. Because that will justify your stand whenever NBA and NAC people visit your institution. So you can tell them, okay, well, sir, this belongs to creativity level, at least one question. Right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank
but
you.
again, it is practically not possible to have it in all the subjects. So you may have certain things, and that's why I said, कि भाई, you need to strengthen your psychomotor domain assessment system once again. So wherein again you have 3 hours period. So there you can give some creativity sort of a question. Okay, but
Okay.
normally how do we go for the practical assessment? You very well know, right? Most of the time, right? So you can experiment over there. I'll share you one small story. If you look at you must have heard about University of Pune, Savitribai Phule.
Yes. Yes.
They are they in Maharashtra at least they are on the top. Okay, in terms of you can say the education environment and so on. What is so special about them? What do they do for conducting the practical examination? They ask industry people. They do not invite the teachers from the other institution. So what do? They ask the industry people to come and evaluate their students. So normally they provide them the syllabi, curriculum and all. Okay, so the industry person, since he is not having a give and take kind of a situation over there, so this is how you can stand up. What I mean to say, that is practical. Again, psychomotor we need to take a little bit more seriously. I hope I have answered your query, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dear participant, let us break for 30 minutes.
Yes.
And
I have a question, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Please.
please.
A very good evening to you, sir. This is
Good
Professor Dhanam from St. Joseph Degree and PG College. I work with the Department of Business Management, sir.
Okay.
Sir, first of all, I would like to really appreciate the way you have presented, sir, from the beginning.
Thank you.
I was awestruck with your presentation, sir. Thank you so much, because I've been attending to so many seminars and also awareness programs or workshops on the same topic.
Thank you.
Absolutely clear what I have, because we prepare question paper like Dr. Jishan sir was mentioning, that we really face practical problems, or
Yes.
we face it. So somewhere here and there, sir, you were able to clear our doubts. I was able to understand. Acha, aisa we can also ask a question.
Yes.
Just 3 slides before you have mentioned, you have reflected one of the slides, sir. I just missed on taking a print screen because I wanted to put it, because we prepare a course plan where we don't, like you said, sir, cooking is easy, washing utensils is difficult. Itna difficulty hota to test on the students. Kabhi to question puch liye, but practically unko every time you test, you give an assessment to them in class. Well, the ma'am started off now. Class test le lete, quiz le lete. So I put the ball in their court. Aap le lo, aap present kar do, aap test conduct karo.
Madam, it was on a lighter note. I
But
wanted
it was
to check whether you were alive or not. You were listening to me.
Absolutely right, sir. It is. The rubrics when we give in course plan, sir, बहुत मुश्किल होता when I teached 4 different subjects. Let's say leadership पढ़ाते, then management, organization, behavior पढ़ाते, तो rubrics का बहुत difficulty होता, sir.
I understand.
When I had to tell quiz, every time I can't conduct a quiz.
Okay.
Every time I cannot do a case let or case study.
Correct.
Is it? So thank you so much. Sir, मेरे को एक बार if you would want to present that 3 slides के पहले you were mentioning तो it was new for me. I just missed on.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. My question is, can you reflect on the rubrics, sir? कोई अगर different subjects जो छोटे some rubrics if you can reflect on. It will be very helpful for me, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rubrics, madam. Rubrics, it is altogether a different entire domain. Okay, may require maybe 1 hour or so for maybe, because we need to actually work on those aspects.
Yes.
It is not, say, for example, theoretically speaking is all right, but when it comes to actual the deployment, okay, it is really challenging, as you have rightly pointed out. So we may have some other day, maybe some session on rubrics and so on, but within a minute or so, I'll not be in a position to address that issue, ma'am. Right?
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I understand it, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So, dear participants, we will take a 30 minutes break. So, sir,
4:30.
So at 4:30 we shall begin
Yes.
again.
Yes. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, dear participant, please use second link which is provided to you in your WhatsApp group. Okay. Thank you very much.
welcome back. Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Shall we start, sir? Or
Yeah. Sir, please start.
yes, sir. So in this second session, I think I have promised you that we will be having a look at some AI-based tool for teaching and research, right? So we'll be starting with certain tools. Most possibly, I'll just try to demonstrate you in a live mode. Okay, but before that, if you would like me to have some few slides on AI, or we may have, even if without slide as well, we may have some discussion on whether we should adopt to this AI tool and so on, because most of the time whenever I start my deliberation on this topic, okay, many times I used to receive some adverse comment regarding the use of AI in the edtech sector particularly. So what is your take on this? Okay, by that time, hopefully the others will again join. Okay, so what do you feel personally, whether we should use AI tools for education or not? Yes, any one of you.
Sir, in my personal opinion, I use it and I really find it helpful. Actually,
Okay.
yes, sir. Because it, as you mentioned in the last lecture, that application of means implementation of pedagogy.
Yes.
The initial steps related to collection of the information and presentation, it can be very easily done by using AI.
Great, sir. Yes.
But the
Sir, good evening.
last things we have to take by ourselves.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
good evening again, sir. Professor Dhanam here, sir.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
According to my opinion, sir, there are pros and cons of every tool what we use.
Yes.
When it comes to AI also, sir, we should be using, but to an extent which is actually benefiting, but it should not become a tool which will be a disaster. It is the same awareness what we need to create to the students also, sir, at the same time. Which should allow them to use their brain and knowledge what God has given us, right?
Yes.
That is my opinion, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. So I think, but the problem is, as a matter of fact, actually, our government, as on date, actually, they have not come up with any guidelines in this regard. My personal view is we need to regulate this technology, right? We need to have some guiding principles, and that too definitely from government and maybe like say UGC or AICT for that purpose. So the regulating agencies, they have to take up this particular issue a little bit more seriously. There are in some developed nation, they have literally banned, particularly in school. They have they have banned the use of this Gen AI tool and so on. But as Madam, you have rightly pointed out, and Zishan sir has again, I think the same point he has elaborated. That is, as far as let's say you are gathering of information or maybe preparing a PowerPoint presentation is concerned, you can definitely make use of these AI tools. Okay, there's no problem ethically again. Okay, so when it comes to technology, where ethical concerns are there, privacy, secrecy concerns are there, and AI tools are no exception for that. Definitely, these issues are there. Okay, say for example, if you use your APIs, okay, for your personal information, so definitely somebody can make misuse of it. Okay, there is no doubt about it. But the issue is that doesn't mean we should stop using all these tools. Okay, it is up to you. Say for example, we will have a tool wherein, let's say, if it is able to complement your teaching learning, then there is no harm in using it. And I say, for example, I'll show you one tool, okay, wherein you have thousands of built-in model. Okay, so let's say if you want to explain a concept which is little bit complicated, so it is not possible to deal with that particular topic with a chalkboard kind of an environment. So definitely you can make use of these models or simulated models, okay, for explaining the concept. Okay, I will demonstrate you. Okay. Apart from that, there are few other tools. There are tools for maybe say for research, wherein again one can maybe reduce the, you can say, the search time by effectively using all these tools. So we'll have some tools on that front as well, that is research front. So again, for writing a complete new paper, I will never ever recommend. Okay, there is a big no for that. So as far as creativity, as Madam has pointed out and Zishan sir has pointed out, so as far as creativity is concerned, okay, if you are making use of this tool, that is ethically not correct. But for your routine job, okay, for your routine job, let's say if you are making use of these tools, okay, definitely they will help you out, okay, and they will save your time and energy, which you can utilize for some other constructive purposes, right? So having said this, I will start with certain tools, okay, but before that, I would love to know what is your understanding of AI. Once again, there is some, see, this brainstorming, why it is needed, because so those who are from computer science, probably 2 or 3 participants are there probably from computer science, but excluding those 2, 3, okay, probably I personally feel, because I have seen the list of participants, but in some cases the subject was missing, so maybe more than that. But in general, what is your perception of AI? What is AI is all about? And what is it that is how to deal with, whether this is new or this is an old story, only the evolution you are seeing in last couple of years, maybe 22 onwards. Okay, so AI is simply basically mimicking the human behavior. Now, what is so special about human behavior? What is so special? What are the peculiar characteristics of a human intelligence, and how this AI is different? So in human intelligence, you have got certain things, what they call it as, you can say you have got the God has given you power of taking decisions. So decision making is one of the component. So this way, what are the other components? Wherein the
Sir, it can be creativity, sir. I think there
creativity,
can be innovation, creativity. That
creativity.
is also one side which computer
Okay.
cannot or AI cannot until you give a prompt, is what
Yes,
I feel.
yes, ma'am. But all these buzzword, whatever you have, what you have tossed just now, they are being challenged by all these tools. That is the, you can say, the sad part of it. Udayveer Singh, you would like to, sir? Udayveer Singh, would like to comment? Okay. Well, what we will do, we'll have maybe two, 3 slides wherein just I will just elaborate on how this technology is evolved. This technology is not at all new. It was way back in 1956. This term was very first time tossed by John McCarthy. Okay, so 1956. Okay, so if you look at today's date, it is roughly maybe 75 years and so on. If you look at the evolution of ChatGPT itself, I don't know how many of you are aware, but the ChatGPT 1 was launched way back in 2018. Okay, but the issue was it was not up to that extent. Okay, then ChatGPT 2, 3, and whatever is available at present. Now you have got 3.5, and then yeah. Okay, so latest release are there. So what all these tools are? These tools are, as a matter of fact, if you whatever tool I will demonstrate, backend some or the other AI LLM model will be running. Okay, so we have a concept what they call it as the large language model or LLM model, right? So in LLM model and all these you can say the GPT or maybe Gemini, which is a product of you can say the Google, and again IBM, we have got certain products and so on. So all of them, they are at par. And in what way they are different from your Google? Okay, all these aspects we'll just try to have a look at in greater detail. So I'll be going ahead with without any presentation. I'll be going ahead with certain demonstration on certain tools. Let's say if you are using it, you please let me know. Okay, what we will do, we'll skip that tool and we'll move to something else. So the very first tool, I don't know whether you are using it, is it has evolved as what they call it as the notebook LM. Whether you are using this notebook LM, have you heard this? Hello.
Hello. No.
Notebook LM. So shall we begin with Notebook LM?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, chaliye. So Notebook LM, as the name suggests, okay, this is a very fantastic tool for teaching learning. Okay, we'll start from basics, that is teaching learning, and then gradually we'll just try to move ahead with other aspects. Okay, so let's say you are completely new to this. You need not have to worry. Okay, you must be having a Gmail account. Simply type Notebook LM. Okay, so the very first link, that is notebooklm.google. Now, this is, as a matter of fact, the beta version is at present released, and it is completely free. Okay, so you need not have to pay a single pie. Most of the tools I'll be showing you, they are all either from, you can say they are free and open source, or they are built on FOSS philosophy, that is free and open source software philosophy, or the beta version of them will be having a look at. Okay, so this is a typical, as you can see here, this is a typical layout of a Notebook LM. Okay, wherein you will find certain things over here, right? So this is typically used for teaching learning purposes. Okay, it is beneficial for both teacher as well as student, or maybe a researcher and whatnot. So it has a wide applicability. Okay, so this is the URL. Okay, and you need to have only one thing, that is a Gmail account. So you need to log in with your Gmail account. Okay, then simply go to this notebooklm.google.com, and as you can see, this is the layout for this. Okay, now as you can see here, this is a create new kind of a thing. So either you can click on this. Yes.
Presenting any slides, sir?
Sorry.
Are you
not showing.
Yeah, actually, I am. What I thought that you are looking at my. Okay, it is not visible, ma'am.
No, sir. No. Sir.
Yes.
Oh, so thanks for the. Yes. What I thought that I have shared it. Anyway, let me try once again. Let me try once again. Okay. Now, whether my slides, my screen is complete screen is visible to
Now
you?
it is starting to present, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is probably, I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay. So what you can do now, this is Notebook LM. What I did basically, I have logged in from my Gmail account. This is, as a matter of fact, my wife's account, right? Notebook LM. And again, I'll recommend all of you to create a separate Gmail account. Let's say if you want to experience all these tools, and there is a reason for that. Okay, why? Because the beta version of almost these tools, this is Notebook is an exception for in that category. It is completely free, but the other tools, beta version is free. That is, beta is nothing but the basic version is free with some limited functionality. But let's say if you want to go for a pro version, you need to pay for it. So you may receive some mails in your mailbox, okay, asking you to go for a subscription and so on. So if you use your regular Gmail ID, it may happen that you will face problem. So as to overcome this problem, what you can do, you can create a separate Gmail ID, okay, with your name and credentials, but a separate Gmail ID, and use it exclusively for using all these tools and so on. So this is Notebook LM, right? As you can see here, right? So either you can go to this create new notebook, or you may go ahead with this create new button. That is a plus sign, and create new button is there. Moment you click on that, okay, something like this will appear on your screen. Okay, something like this will appear on your screen. Now, what you need to do is you can specify the sources from where you want to create the notebook. So it is basically creating your study material, mind map, okay, maybe creating video, audio, and let's say you want to learn it. Let's say you want to learn a research paper. Okay. So a research paper you can very well learn by simply uploading that paper here. Okay. Say for example, in this case, what we will do, I'll upload my file. Now, these are the various sources from where you can upload. So the very first one is, let's say if some file is there on your desktop, you can use this particular option. Or let's say if some file is there on your Google Drive, you may go ahead with this Google Drive option. Okay, or let's say if you want to use some online resource, say like a website or a YouTube as a video, as directly as input to this particular tool, you may click on this and fetch that particular stuff if it is available in public domain. There are preconditions for that. Let's say if you want to upload a paper, a research paper, which is in open or public domain, you can very well do that. But let's say if it is having some control kind of access, like say IEEE Explorer and so on, then in that case you need to have the credentials for that. But as long as it is there in the public domain, you can directly upload it. So any website or any YouTube channel, okay, any video you can upload directly. Or let's say if something you have copied on your clipboard, okay, so you may paste it directly here. Okay, so these are the three ways in which you can add the file here. Or this is the fourth one. Let's say if some file is there on your desktop, you may pick up this choose file. Okay, go to desktop. Okay, and go for some paper, or let's say my profile we will upload. Okay, 1-page profile. This is just for the sake of example, right? So brief profile latest, let's say. So I have uploaded this. Moment I upload this, now this is being uploaded. As you can see here, the screen has now changed. Okay, you have got 3 pane here. The very first pane, which is there on the left hand side, which we have already used, is nothing but the sources. Okay, so we have added this source, my brief profile. And if you can see here in the middle pane, you have got a chat box kind of a thing, wherein you can interact with this PDF file, or this way you may upload n number of files. Let's say you have given an advertisement for filling up the post of some XYZ position, and you have received around 10,000 applications. Now you want to shortlist it. Okay, so you can very well do that. Okay, you can very well do that. Okay. Or the other way around, let's say if you have uploaded a research paper and you want to learn that paper, okay, you want to create a mind map, okay, or you want to create an audio conversational file or a video conversational file, you can very well do that. Or you may interact just like with any, this is the PDF which I have uploaded. So just like chat PDF you have got. Okay, on the parallel line, let's say I want to interact with this file and I want to ask whether what is Dr. Mohammed Atique's overall academic and professional qualification. Okay, this is the prompt which I have given. So it will analyze the document, it will come up with its answers, right? This is one thing. This is the chat part of it. But on right hand side, you have got many things. Okay, you have got many things, like you can create a mind map, okay, using this file. Okay, so it is generating a mind map. Right now I've clicked on mind map. Okay, now it is generating a mind map. Okay, simply click on that. Okay, so this is based on the kind of input whatever you have given. Okay, so this is since in my 1-page document, these are the various you can say the sections available. Okay, accordingly it has created this. Okay, accordingly it has created it. Okay, so you can again analyze whether it is good content or bad content. So this is the mind map one can do, okay, quite easily with this particular tool. Okay, and the other thing is, let's say, yeah, the other aspects are, you can create an audio conversational file or a video conversational file using this. If you look at this, okay, this is audio overview. So what it will do, moment I click on this, okay, now this will take a little bit more time because it will transform that text file into a podcast kind of a audio conversational, right, which is taking place between 2 different people, right? So somebody will be asking the interviewer and interviewee, they will be asking questions, and accordingly the audio file will be created. So let's try to create an audio overview. Okay, now this is being generated, as I have told you that it will require time because it is happening at the Google Cloud. So it may take, depending upon the load and the traffic, it may take a little bit 2 to 3 minutes. Or the other way around, what you can do, you can create a video overview. Okay. And now if you look at this is gradually happening, right? See, every day whenever I used to log into this, okay, some new language start appearing over there. Now I may translate this video, this content into a audio, either in Hindi, Marathi, Bangla, Gujarati, and I don't know what are the other languages, right? So this is what is there. This is what is. So you may create an audio. And now you may ask, sir, what is the advantage of creating this audio? So what you can do, you can copy this audio, okay, and you may listen to it in your leisure time on your maybe a mobile or a handset, right? So you can learn that particular thing quite easily whenever you are on the move and so on, right? Then this is one thing. Okay, then you have other things like, say, briefing doc. Okay, it will create a study guide. It will create a FAQ based on the stuff, frequently asked question. FAQ stands for generate an AI FAQ based on the. Now these are the various reports. Even the timeline is there. Generate an AI timeline based on your sources. Okay, so the responses will totally depend on the kind of input file you are using. And I think mind map I have already demonstrated to you, right? So these are the various functionality of this notebook LM. So this you may use it for teaching learning purposes. Now, if there is any question, so this is the last pane is the studio. Okay. Okay. So this is the last panel is the studio panel. Then this is the chat panel, and this is the sources panel. I hope my screen is visible to you. Okay. And this is being generated. This map we have generated. Now, what you can do, you may delete it or you may download it if needed, and so on. Okay. So let me show you. Let's say I don't know whether it has been last time, whether it was, yeah. So this is what I have created last time. Same input. Okay, just allow me to play.
Have you ever looked at someone's professional profile, maybe on LinkedIn or a faculty page, and just found yourself wondering, how did they manage to accomplish all of that? Or maybe more precisely, what really defines their impact? You know, beyond just a list of job titles.
Right.
Well, today we're going to unpack exactly that.
Yeah, it's true. You know, sometimes the most profound insights into someone's career, they aren't spelled out. They're kind of woven into the details, right?
So as I have pointed out that this is a conversational video, right, between the interviewer and interviewee. So that you can grasp the concept, okay, in the audio form. In the similar line, you may create a video file, okay, if required. Okay, that too on a single click. So you may create maybe some learning resources, okay, using this tool. It's a very fantastic tool, and at present it is free of cost. Okay, so you need not require anything other than a Gmail account for using this tool. So if there are any question, okay, I'll be happy to answer. Okay, otherwise we'll move ahead with the second tool.
Sir, what
Yes.
other benefits it would provide for research work, sir?
Sorry, research. Acha, you want me to start with research first? Okay.
No, sir. Yeah, the same notebook LM, what you're talking about, does that provide any benefits for research work as well, is what I wanted to ask.
Yes, madam. Let's say if you upload a research paper, right? So since I have uploaded in this case my profile, one-page profile. So the responses I am getting in accordance to that. So it all depends upon the resource. Let's say if you want to analyze a research paper, okay, synthesize or analyze a research paper, what you can do, you can upload a research paper. Say for this, in this case, what I did basically, I have used my one-page profile. Okay, let's say if I upload a research paper, I can work on that research paper as well. It will do all those activities on that resource.
Okay,
I hope you
got it, sir.
got it.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
So
Thank
that
you.
is research front. Let's say if you want me to start with certain tools on research front, we will have certain tools on research front first. Okay, the very first one is the this one is Research Rabbit. Whether you are using it.
No, sir. It's absolutely new for me as
Okay,
such.
okay. Now, the beauty of this tool is, ma'am, this is once again completely free. It has been built on free and open source philosophy, FOSS philosophy. Now, this tool is a very powerful tool, but I will show you the basic functionality. Let's say you want to carry out literature survey, okay, which is otherwise a very time-consuming job. Okay, let's say you may ask, sir, what is wrong in using Google for searching various papers? Definitely you can do that, but the approach of Google is it is not using any AI technique. Up to some extent it uses, but not entirely. Okay, say for example, Google's approach, whenever you put some keywords or stuff in the Google search box, what it does is it will give you the responses based on the you can say the link, what they call it as the page ranking algorithm. Okay, so it uses the page ranking algorithm, and how these pages are ranked, it is ranked based on the users accessing that pages. Say, let's say one particular paper is accessed more number of times, so it will be kept at number 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, and up to some extent, as I said, that it uses. So many times it asks you whether you mean this. Okay, and then let's say if you click, so it asks you certain things, but that is again not complete AI. AI in future, it may happen that Google will again start this notebook LM, maybe it will be populated with all those stuff, okay, in near future. May happen. Google is working on that. But at present, it is not using that sort of thing. So this the solution is researchrabbitapp.com. Okay, researchrabbitapp.com is the URL for this particular tool. And how to use it? Simply go to researchrabbitapp.com. Okay, there you are supposed to create just one-time sign in, or you may log in using your Gmail credentials. Okay, log in with your Gmail account. Okay,
Sorry to ask, but I had this doubt. Does it affect plagiarism? Was what my doubt was, sir. Does
this
that?
one.
Yes,
This
sir.
one.
Yes.
Let me, madam, complete the presentation. We will deal with all those aspects.
Yes, sir.
Plagiarism and on, right? So as I was talking about, that is, this tool is typically for carrying out literature survey. So let us see how it works. Okay, let us see how it works. So on the left hand panel, you have got this new collection, new category, import from Zotero. Zotero is basically a referencing tool. Okay, Zotero is a referencing tool. Okay, Zotero you must have heard about. That is typically used for a reference management system. Okay, so let's say if certain papers you have gathered in the Zotero collection and you want to import that as it is, that functionality is again there. So you need to simply click on this. Okay, something like this will appear and you can fetch that folder directly. Connected papers for generative AI. So I have already seen some 41 and 42 papers. Okay, let's say if it is not so, you want to start from scratch. Okay, so you need to simply go to this collection. Moment you click on that collection, okay, something like this will appear wherein it will ask you to give the title. Okay, so I'm labeling this particular collection, new collection, which I'm trying to go ahead with this. Let's say if you can suggest something, I'll go ahead with that. So any one of you, AI in, let's say
HR, sir. AI in HR.
HR. Okay, human resource. All right. Management. Okay, so this is the collection which I have created. Okay, AI in human resource management. Okay, HRM is there, but I'm looking at certain things from AI's perspective. That is how AI can help me in that regard. Or maybe AI in digital marketing is another area, or whatever you feel appropriate, whatever is the area you want to search, okay, extensively. So what I did, I have created a collection like, say, AI in human resource management. As you can see here, right now it is showing 0 papers, okay, and so on. So let's say I want to search papers in this particular domain. Okay, you need to simply click on this 0. Moment you click on 0, something like this will appear, wherein it will ask you to add papers. Now here I may add papers. Okay, so simply click on add papers. Okay, Here you are supposed to type exactly the prompt you are interested in. AI in, let's say, human resource management. Let us try something like in India. Okay. All right. Very vague but very broad prompt I am giving just for the sake of example. Okay. Then click on the search button. Okay. Moment you click on search button, two tabs will open. One is biomedical and life sciences, and second is the all subject area. Let's say you want to carry out your search with biomedical and life sciences perspective, you need to click on this particular tab. The other way around, by default, this all subject area is selected. So simply click on, or by default, as I said, that has been selected. Now it is giving me certain papers. Okay, impact of AI on selected human resource management functions in pharmaceutical industry in India. Okay, and not only the paper, along with the year of publication, along with some abstract which is coming up directly. Now in Google, what you need to do is you need to open, based on the title, you need to open that paper in some different window, again look at the abstract and so on. It is a little bit more time consuming. So this way, let's say you want to search 20 papers, okay, it will take a little bit more time, and then you need to download, maybe take hard copy and then go through it, something like that. But here what is happening is this is AI kind of a response, wherein it is showing me the you can say the abstract, and by going through the abstract I can take a decision whether it is relevant or not. Let's say I have decided that this is relevant, so I may add it to my collection. Okay, so add to collection, randomly I am picking up. Okay, add to collection. Okay, but let's say when you are doing it in actual manner, you need to go through the stuff and then take a call on whether it is relevant or not. Okay, so let us add a few papers. Okay, randomly, once by simply saying add to collection, all those papers are being added to my collection. So I am creating a collection wherein some papers will be there. Say for example, 10 different paper I have selected. So I have created a collection, AI in human resource management. Those paper will start appearing here. Okay, 1 to 10. Okay, and then what it has done on its own. Okay, certain authors this system has identified. Okay, these authors 31, and suggested author, again it is coming up. Now it is giving me suggestion. Okay, it's better you explore based on the collection you have gathered. Okay, it's better to explore these 12 authors and 31 authors and something like that. Okay, right, say these are the 12 authors, right? So now, as a matter of fact, yes. Okay. Yeah. Let me try on some other stuff. Yeah. So that if the numbers are large, you will get some different kind of response. So this is the earlier one. Okay. And now look at the diagrams and so on. Now it is not only showing me the work, okay, whatever I have shortlisted, but it is showing their connectivity. That is how one work is connected with the other. Okay, in the pictorial form. Now here what I can do, I can take it to n number of level this way. I may go ahead with, let's say, if you look at this, right now, earlier it was showing 583, earlier work 41, now it is increasing, 1291, 2865 authors. So I may go ahead with a further level. So this way I may go ahead with n number of levels. Okay. Okay. So as to identify the real stuff in your domain, you can very well make use of this particular tool. Okay. 2865. Okay. Now it is coming up. Okay. And all these diagrams. Okay. Let's say if you want, you may use it. Okay, you may use a diagram. I am saying, I am not saying the papers and so on, but this is one part of it. Now it is not only showing me, and the beauty of this is you can, let's say, if you want to find out the papers in the last 5 years, so that you can specify in this timeline tab. Okay, so you can filter them out by a single click. which is not possible in Google, right? Which is not possible in Google or any other search engine, right? So let's say I want to search from 2020 to 2025. So I can very well do that by simply clicking on this timeline. So this is how you can work on this, or you may sync it to Zotero, okay, from here onwards. So that is again possible. Okay, you may export this into Zotero. So this is the basic functionality I am simply demonstrating here. You can explore it later on at your end, but you can use it without facing any ethical issue. You can very well use this particular tool for literature survey purpose. Right, literature survey, right? So you can identify the real stuff, which normally, let's say, otherwise, if you want to do it, it may require maybe a couple of days. Okay, that can be done quite easily within no time. Okay, within no time. All right. So I hope this tool is again. If you have any query, you can fire it now. Whether the screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, it
Okay.
is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So again, I am showing you the basic functionality. Okay, I'm not showing you the entire stuff because it is not possible, because one tool itself will require maybe 20 to 30 minutes, right? So this is Notebook LM, then this is Research Rabbit. Let us move ahead. Yes, yes. Yes. Whether somebody want to ask something? Okay. Now the next tool is what they call it as the Elicit. Okay. Elicit.com. So this is typically used for analysis and synthesis of research paper. Okay, analysis and synthesis of research paper. Okay, once again, for using this tool, okay, you do not require anything other than a Gmail account. Okay, so this is my account. As I have told you, now this is not free. Now, the beta version of this tool is free. That is, the basic version is free with some limited functionality, but not the pro version. Okay, but even your basic version is more than enough. Let's say if you want to begin with, okay. So this is typically used for synthesizing and analyzing research paper, or any paper for that purpose. Okay, any paper for that purpose. So this is my account. As a matter of fact, this I have used my personal Gmail ID. Okay. So what you can do, you can type here AI in, let's try something else in digital marketing. Let's say in India. So what I did basically, so you have many things once again here. I will show you the basic functionality of this particular tool. Okay, so what it has done, it has listed out 4 research paper. Okay, this, as I have told you, that the basic version or beta version of this tool is free. Okay, but with limited functionality. So what is it exactly? It will list out 1, 2, 3, 4 paper, or maybe 5 paper. Okay, depending upon the topic which you have chosen. But as far as the number of column based on which you want to analyze this paper, it will not be more than 4. Okay, it should not exceed more than 4. If it goes beyond 4, again I'll show you the solution. That is what you can do. You can delete. Okay, you can delete few of the columns and then populate with the other things. Now, as you can see here on the left hand side, it is showing me the paper along with the citation and so on, year of publication, DOI, everything. And then you have the next column as the abstract summary. Abstract summary is by default. Okay. Now I may add 3 more columns here. Okay. What are those columns? Those columns may be summary, summary is as by default it is there. So we'll skip that. Let's say you want to analyze all these 5 paper in terms of their main findings, or the methodology, or the intervention, or the outcome measured, or the limitation, right? Or maybe intervention effect, summary of introduction, summary of discussion, and so on. So on all these front, let's say you want to analyze this in terms of research gaps. Okay, you want to identify the research gap between these papers. Okay, simply click on this research gap and just look at the column. Okay, so this is being populated. Research gap, this column is being added, and it is being populated from all those papers. Okay. Let's say if some researchers, they have not suggested any research gap, so no research gap suggested, it is coming up. But otherwise, if you look at the first one, it has come up with some balancing AI driven market and so on, right? So maybe limitation or the methodology. Let's try methodology. Okay. So I've clicked on methodology. Now this column is being added, and the data is being populated. Now you may use this stuff for writing some critical comments about all those papers. So you are synthesizing or analyzing any research paper, and that too more than one paper in a single go, which is, if you do it manually, okay, it will require a lot of time and energy, right? It will require a lot of time and energy. Clear? Anybody who wish to ask something? Elicit?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Dr. Abhishek Duri this side. Sir, actually, I was using this tool for analyzing some papers for my review paper. But I found that there are some errors while it is showing me the results.
Okay.
Some data were not such accurate as that was shown in the those papers which were published.
Okay.
So how can we rely on these kind of data?
Yes, you have asked a very good question, sir. Actually, the basic issue with all these tools is you cannot rely, to be very frank, you cannot rely more than 80% maximum. Okay, 20% still there is problem. And the another part is you must be using the free version of the tool, if I am not wrong.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So free version has got a limitation in terms of token. Right? Token is something like, say, digital is one token, marketing is another token, India is another token, and AI is another token. Let's say if you look at this statement itself, it has got how many tokens? 5 tokens. Okay. So this way, if you do it again and again, and let's say you cross your free token limit, then it will give you some results which are not expected. Okay, you must have seen movie called Gajni.
Yes, sir.
Gajni, what happens is short-term memory loss, right? So
Exactly.
and you may ask, sir, why the basic version is free and the pro version is paid? The reason is the training cost of all these tools is very high. It is in millions of dollars. Right? So free of cost, don't expect that you will get the appropriate result. Okay, you may simply just for experimentation purpose, okay, you may use it, but as I said, again, the accuracy is not more than 80%. 20%, again, the chances are there because they are learning. Okay, it is still but if you use a paid version, definitely you will get better result. That is for sure. Okay. So this token limitation is always there. Okay.
Right.
For example, ChatGPT, again, most of the time people complain, sir, after some days it starts giving some wrong result, because that as far as your account is concerned, it is keeping track of everything, sir. It is being recorded. These searches, let's say this is my Gmail account, right? So it is recorded against that account. So my token earlier, let's say I've used 10 tokens, then 20 tokens, then 30 tokens. So these will be accumulated. And once I cross my free token limit, it will give me some results which are not expected from these tools. Right?
Right, sir.
Okay. I hope I have answered your query.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So token limit is again there. Yes. Anybody else who wish to ask something? Okay. Let us move ahead with yeah.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, the paid version of OpenAI ChatGPT.
Yes.
Is it a better option, or this Elicit is giving better results in your experience in terms of research?
In terms of research, again, I am telling you, sir, whatever you get free, it comes with some problem.
No, sir. No. I'm asking about paid version.
If it is paid version, definitely it will give you fantastic results.
Yes.
It will give you fantastic result.
So in your experience, sir, is it the paid version of ChatGPT is good or illicit?
A paid version of ChatGPT, and again, sir, there are many things which you need to set. You need to set the temperature. You need to set there are parameters, sir.
Yes, definitely, sir. Definitely.
Right. So all those parameters, say if you want to use it effectively, okay. Let's say I want to create a creative. For example, I want to create a story or a novel or a book, right? Then in that case, definitely I need to deal with all these parameters. So usually there are 4 to 5 parameters which are of prime importance, but you need to take care of all those aspects. That is the temperature. Usually it is between 0 to 2, okay, and other aspects are again there, sir. But paid version will give you fantastic results, sir. Definitely. Free will come with some problem, some or the other problem, as Professor was pointing out. So it will give you some erroneous result. Yes, that is for sure. Right? Okay. Now, the other tool, illicit, I think I have talked about, Research Rabbit. Then there is a tool called Consensus. Have you heard this tool? This tool, whether you are using it?
No, sir, I am not using.
Okay. So this is again a very fantastic tool. But all the time I'll be coming up that the beta version is free, and you can do lot many things here, right? You can do lot many things here. This is Consensus. Consensus.app is the URL, right? Consensus.app is the URL. So this is once again the first time user. You need to create an account, okay? And once you create an account, you may go to this new thread, okay, Research Hub. The beauty of this tool is it will not only show you the stuff, okay, but it will show you the citations. And let's say if the paper is available in some open access domain, okay, the influential citation, okay, these are the parameters. Right now, this because of this particular query, whatever I have given. Okay, but you may find some fantastic numbers over here. So you can find out the real stuff in your domain using this Consensus once again. Okay, so it gives you everything about that paper. Okay, so let me try. Now it is every time you can see here, right? So Pro 23 left, Deep 3 left. Okay, quick, fast search, summary of 10 papers. Okay, these are the ways and means in which one can use it. Okay, so let's try with this quick. Okay, if you try with this quick, okay, and ask anything, AI in, let's say, digital marketing. Okay. Now it is coming up with certain papers. See, this is the literature review. Okay. Now it is highly cited, it is saying me. Now let's say I want to find out. Now this is not there in your Google. Google will never come up with something like this. It will show you only the paper along with some stuff which you need to open in some new tab and then decide whether it is relevant or not. Whether in this case it is giving you the 89 citation. Okay, what is the name of the journal? And if certain papers are available in the public domain, you may download it directly, or you may export this result to maybe you may share it with your students or the research community. Okay, so it is again very, very fantastic paper. Ask this paper again. Okay, a full text is available for this paper. Ask to summarize the finding. So you can do lot many things. Again, this is beta. Okay. So this is beta version. Repeatedly, I am telling you, most of these tools are paid. Okay, so now this paper has come up. Now you may download it, okay, if needed. So certain things through Google, if you try, you will not find that they are available for download. Whereas in this case, it gives you from where it get it that I don't know. But many of the papers, this is my experience. This is a Springer paper once again, not an ordinary paper. Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science. Okay, so Springer is a reputed publisher, right? But that paper is available here, right? Complete paper, full paper along with everything. Now see, let's say summarize the paper in few sentences. Okay, these are the FAQ sort of prompt. Okay, where there any conflict of interest? Did the authors mention any limitation? So COI or limitation, everything. These are all frequently asked question, FAQ it has given, right? So you simply click on that, it will come up with the responses, right? So this is again very fantastic and very powerful tool, I tell you. Okay, very powerful tool, right? So you need not have to toggle here and there. You can directly work on those papers here itself, download the real stuff onto your desktop and move ahead with that, right? So this is consensus, right? Apart from this, let's say if you are an active researcher and if you have not created these IDs, I request all of you to create these 3 IDs. The very first ID is what they call it as the ORCID ID, ORCID, right? This is essentially needed whenever you want to go for a Web of Science or Science Citation Index journal publication, right? So ORCID is basically again a 16-digit unique identifier, which they will allocate to you. Okay, most of the time it is expected that you must use your official Gmail ID for getting this, right? But you may use your personal as well, right? So verified email domains, say for example, this I have created using my official email ID. So the idea is not to demonstrate my work, but is to simply show that is how it works. So go to the orchid.org, go for a registration, create your account. You will get some unique identifier, okay, along with your login credentials once you are done with the account creation process. And then you can make your even profile public or protected as per your own need. So it is showing me all my 52 papers, right? And it fetches all your Scopus record directly. So Scopus is another standard database. So you need to have ORCID, you need to have Scopus ID in place. But many times it creates multiple IDs, because most of the time my name is many times it is I'm Atique somewhere, Mohammed Atique, and so on. So a lot of explanation. 2 IDs it has created, Scopus. So both the IDs I have fetched here. Now, if you want to merge this, you need to go to this Scopus people elsewhere. Okay, and you ask them, most of the time they entertain your. Now this is the Scopus one, the second one which I am showing you. Go to elsewhere.com, create your Scopus ID if you have not created. Okay, so Scopus ID you may create it. Okay, right, this is my Mohammed Atique, right? 389 citations, 62 documents, H index, and so on. Okay, so this is Scopus ID. Then the topmost in this regard is what they call it as the Web of Science or researcher ID. Okay, so if you want to go for a SCI indexed or SCI index kind of publication, then in that case you need to have this Web of Science ID. Okay, so this is my Web of Science ID. Again, this is some number. The format is a little bit different. It is 8-digit number along with some alphabet. So D, and then depends upon your domain, the area you are into. Say, as I've told you, that published name, these are the 3 names. Okay, MOHD Atique, then Mohammed Atique, then Atique Mohammed, and so on. Okay, but affiliation is same, computer science, and so on. So it is showing me all my stuff over here. That is 46 document in SCI, and this is my matrix, and so on. Okay, so these 3 IDs are essentially needed on the research front. If you do not have, many times they will ask you to provide your ORCID or Scopus, or maybe essentially needed. Okay, maybe the researcher ID. Okay. Apart from this, there is one more thing, what they call it as, if you have not created, I request all of you to please create your account on the Vidwan portal. I don't know whether you are aware, But let's say if you have not created, because this is the Government of India initiative. Okay. So this
So with
again,
one, we have created
okay.
it
With
for
one,
NAC purpose,
yeah,
sir.
with one is again fantastic, madam. With one
Yes.
fetches all your records. Yes, sir. So it fetches all your record from all the sources. This is my Vidwan profile, right? So this is the ORCID ID, Scopus ID, Researcher ID, and Google Scholar. Actually, it is not considered as a database, standard database, but it has fetched all. Because what Google does is, Google simply fetch all those papers which are linked to your Gmail ID. Okay. So that is the only reason. These many authors and so on, right? So this is how it works. Okay. It gives you national presence as well. Okay. So it's better to create your this with one profile as well. Now, this is all about these tools. I think we are having few more minutes with us. What we will do, we'll have a look at certain assessment tool. So under assessment, any tool you are using for assessment purpose. So there is a tool called Socrative. Whether you are using it?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay. So we'll just try to have a look at this Socrative. Okay. Let's try some hands-on on this Socrative. So you may feel that I'm going a little bit fast, but the idea is to simply demonstrate as many tools as possible. Okay. So this Socrative is one of them. Socrative you can use for assessment purpose. So socrative.com is the URL. Okay. And if you are a first-time user, okay, there are two login as a matter of fact. One is the teacher login and the second is the student login. So as a teacher, you need to create an account. But as far as the students are concerned, they need not have to create any account. What you need to do is you need to share your classroom ID with them. It is very similar to your Google Classroom ID, right? So this is my teacher, you can say the console. Okay, as you can see here, you may sign in with Google as well. Okay, now since I have created this account, let me sign in to my account as a teacher. Okay, now once you sign in as a teacher, okay, you will find something like this on your screen. Okay, again, the beta version of this tool is free because it has got again AI functionality. I'll show you that is how it works. Right, AI functionality free, meaning thereby you simply give the topic, it will create a assessment exercise for you. Okay, I'll show you how it works. But you have got various possibilities. That is, you may create a quiz, you may have multiple choice question, true and false, short answer, and whatnot. Right, now this is a launch button. Let's say you want to launch an exercise, you need to create on this launch. Okay, once you create on launch, I have launched one exercise from my library. Okay, so let's say if you want to appear, or if you want to appear for the exercise which I have just launched as a teacher, as a student, if you want to appear, so you need to go to Socrative student login. Okay. So as I said, that is in case of student, but my since I am logging in from the same machine as a teacher as well as a student, so it will be, my teacher console will be logged out. So my room name I need to provide, that is Atique 6972, if you remember, right? That was the room number, Atique 6972. So I need to share this number only with the student. Okay, as you can see, they have not created any account. So for a student point of view, I am simply logging in as a student. So simply say join. Okay. Once you join, the exercise will start appearing on your console. Okay, it will ask you your name. Okay, let's say Atique, 6 September 2025. 2025. Done. Okay. Now this is, as a matter of fact, this has been created using the AI functionality. So it has created 5 questions. Okay, which are of, you can say, the short answer or MCQ or true or false sort of things. Say 3-language formula, okay, NEB, you may click on this. Okay, now it is not only giving me whether the answer is correct or not, it is giving me the explanation as well, right? That is the, again, this is all self-generated. Okay, so this is descriptive once again. So this is the aspect which I was talking about. That is, earlier they were not good for these tools. They were not good for descriptive answers. Okay, but now almost all of them, they have got that functionality, built-in functionality. Okay, these are the 5 questions which I have attempted. Now it will say all over. Now you would like to see live mode, how the classroom is, or the test is being conducted. As I said that it will be logged out. Again, I need to log in. Moment I log in, go to this live button. Okay, as you can see here. Okay, there is a live result. Okay, click on live result. Okay, it will show you the live result. Let's say if some of you are trying to attempt, okay, all those responses will start appearing here. Right. All right. So this is how it works. Okay, just now whatever response I have given, I need to check it out. Okay, 6th September, somewhere it will be there. Okay, here it is. That is 6/9/2025, Atique. These are the responses. Now, I wanted to show you a few more things. That is, you can generate various reports here. Okay, you may create additional room. Let's say if you are teaching to more than one class, so you may require more than one room. That is again possible. Rooms can be added here, add room. Okay. Then I was talking about library. So in library, I cannot have more than, say, for example, 5 exercises at a time. Okay. 4 or 5 quizzes. So what you can do, you can delete and then go on adding. That way you can use it, because this is, again, Pro is paid. Okay, Pro is paid. Free version has got this limited functionality. You cannot go beyond 5 exercises at a time. So this exercise I was referring to, this I have created using the AI built-in functionality. Now, these are the 5 questions, just for the sake of example, which I have created. I may ask it to generate more questions. Okay, so if you simply click on this generate question, it will ask you add blank question, true or false, short answer, whatever you want. Okay, and it will go on generating the questions. Okay, and then you need to set it, whether you want only MCQ or true or false or short answer or a mix of all of them. Okay, whether you require generate explanation. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, how many questions you want? Let's say 5 more. Okay, and then click on this generate button. So it will create automatically. Okay, it will generate questions automatically along with the answers and explanation. It all depends on the setting you are doing, right? So generate explanation and so on, right? If you do not want this feature, you may skip that. Okay, or if you do not want MCQ in your this thing, you may skip that. Okay, by simply unchecking it. Okay, so this is how you can use this particular tool, which has got some AI built-in functionality as well. Okay, for assessment purpose. Okay. So anything you would like to ask with regard to this? I hope my screen is visible to you.
Sir,
Yes,
one question. We
yes.
have our own LMS, what our college uses, sir.
LMS.
Learning management system, what we use at our college. So this would be different when we use these kind of tools. It would be completely different because they asked us to use LMS.
No, LMS, madam, but which LMS you are using? You are using Moodle or you are using Samarth? Which LMS you are using?
We have our own Prachna app, sir, from where they have created LMS.
Then you need not go for all these tools. Let's say if you do not have those kind of functionality, okay, then you are supposed to go for this.
Yes, they don't have. It doesn't have so many features, sir.
Yes, yes.
In order to show for NAC, because we are going for NAC this academic year for our 4th cycle, so
Okay.
they were asking us to be updated with our LMS. I have that doubt, sir. Thank you.
And
sir.
again, Moodle is free, madam. Let's say if some of the institution, if you are not having any LMS, you can go for Moodle, which is again free and open source, right? But it will require some expertise for the installation and maintenance of that system.
We were using Moodle, sir,
Yeah,
before we
okay.
went in for 3rd cycle. For 3rd cycle, we have shown, but now they wanted us to do it in Prajna, our own app. But
Acha.
we use for examination system also, so for marks assessment.
Okay. Mark assessment, generating mark sheets, and so on.
Yes, sir. And
So it is an
even our,
integrated kind of approach.
yes, sir. Yes.
That is good. Ali Ahmed, sir, you want to ask something? You have raised your hand, that's why I'm asking. Maybe by mistake. Anyway, then again, we have a set of tools. I don't know how many of you are using it, but let's say working on ChatGPT or any other AI tool is vulnerable in terms of, you can say, your privacy, secrecy, and as I said, that is you need to share your API keys and so on. So the solution to this particular thing is a very fantastic tool, very small tool. Not small tool, actually, it is very resource hungry tool. Okay, and the name of the tool is basically the LM Studio. Okay, LM Studio. Okay, LM Studio. So Large Language Model Studio. So it is basically a framework. I will show you. I have downloaded it. You can also download it on your desktop. Okay, it is freely available. There's no problem. Okay, and then later on, what you can do, you can populate this with the model you wanted to have. Okay, and you may use it without any problem. So whatever searches you will carry out, whatever prompt you will write, okay, that will be stored on your local machine instead of on the internet and so on. Okay, so you may try, you may give a try to this LM Studio. Okay, but as I said, that this is a resource hungry tool. That is, it requires minimum Core i7 with some GB of RAM. Okay, and resource hungry meaning a lot of resources are needed for running this. As you can see here, this is my LM Studio. Okay. Oh, sorry. What has happened? Oh, the Visual Studio. I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can.
So this is LM Studio, and if you can see here in the drop-down list, right now I have populated it with these two models. One is the Llama 3.2 and the second is the Gamma 2. Okay, to be instruct. Okay, now I may populate it with some other model as well. Okay, I may download some few more model and I can work on that. The advantage of this is, as I said, that is whatever you will be doing, it will be at your local machine. Okay, so you may get responses. Okay, that too, again, this is the download as I was talking about. That is, you may populate it with some new model as well. So once you download that model, okay, revealing File Explorer and so on, right? So these models can start showing up here, right? Once you download it, and you may work with on your, let's say you want to carry out some confidential work, maybe examination paper setting or something like that, right? Maybe you want to set or design some question paper. Okay, and you want to take help of this tool, so you can very well do that. Okay, but let's say if you do it in an online mode, there is every possibility that your privacy and you can say the confidentiality will be compromised. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do any sort of you can say the confidential work on the by using these tools. Let's say if you want to do it, you may use this LM Studio. Okay, and later on you can populate it. The another tool, which is rather a category of tool, is there. What they call it as is the robotic process automation tool or RPA tool. So wherein you have lot of tool available. Okay, under this you have Blue Prism, okay, Work Fusion, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and Pega. But what I will recommend is the only one which is available. These are all high-end tool, right? Again, very resource hungry. You require a lot of resources for using all these tools. Okay, but only one tool, that is UiPath, has got community edition, which is free of cost. Okay, and as the name suggests, these are all robotic process automation tool. That is, by using these tools, let's say if you are having a clear-cut idea of how to the tool you want to develop or the project you want to develop without writing a single line of code, you can very well do that with the help of this RPA tool called UiPath. And the community edition, you may Google it, you can download it. Okay, but again, very resource hungry. Okay, let's see whether, again, I am having some problem as far as my machine is concerned. Okay, let me close this. And this I have installed, but I don't know, many times it works, many times doesn't. Right, so this is UiPath Studio. Okay, even if it will be loaded, but it will take more time. Okay, so UiPath you can try, wherein without writing a single line of code, you may go ahead with complete development of tool. Sorry, complete development of a project. Okay, whatever you feel appropriate. And if some of you are from computer science, hopefully all of you must be using the GitHub. Okay, so GitHub, again, it can be used as for assessment purpose. Okay, particularly for coding example and so on. So you may use it, but again, registering on GitHub is little bit cumbersome in a sense. That is, you need to provide, and few of these tools, say for example Perplexity and so on, they are available for academic purpose. They are available free of cost. But in that case, again, the registration process is little bit tedious in a sense. That is, you need to provide documentary evidences that you are really working with some academic organization and so on. Okay, so they verify your credential, and once you through that test, okay, you may get some academic account, wherein again you may get some free of cost functionality and so on. So this is that UiPath Studio, as I was talking about. Now, it is a bundle of tool, I tell you. It is a bundle of tool. Okay, you need to simply drag and drop. Let's say you want to go for a process or a sequence of process. You can very well do that. Okay, blank process. Say, for example, this is, I don't know whether it will be loaded. Okay, yes. Okay. This was my first project. Having some issues because again, this autopilot, test explorer, as I said, this is very resource hungry. Okay, even though this is how much time it takes for loading up. As a matter of fact, this is a very small project wherein I am giving some name and I want to display that name. Okay, so again, you may run it. Okay, manage packages and lot many things. So on your click, without writing any code, you may run. You may execute the program. So it is asking, say, compiling activities. This project is being compiled. Some initialization errors are coming up. Okay, so you need to fix up those things. Anyway, so this is a tool which you can use it for robotic process automation. You see, what is your name? Now it has compiled it. So what is your name? Let's say Atique. Okay. Okay, what it will do, it will display that name. That is all. Welcome to the session, something like that. So very small project wherein I have defined one sequence and one input dialog box. It is expecting the response, taking it as an input and displaying the content. So a sequence and input. So I have not written anything. Now sequence, I can get it from here. Okay, you need to search it. Okay, and simply drag and drop. Okay, no need to even copy and paste. Drag it and drop it in the you can say the space. Okay, and then rest of the things it will do it automatically. You need to directly run the program. Okay, so without any computer background, let's say if you are clear in your ideas, okay, that is, you are crystal clear, that is what exactly you intend to do. you may make use of this tool, what is what they call it as the UI path, which is a robotic process automation tool. Right. I think my video was okay. So hopefully, I think this is all from my end. If there are any queries, you can fire it now so that we can discuss. And 5 to 10 minutes intentionally I have kept for that purpose. Yes. Again, I do have some more tools, but I don't think that I should extend my session beyond 6 o'clock.
No, sir. It's there are so much wonderful tools we have witnessed today, and each tool has its own benefits and area of use. So it's really wonderful to know. It is actually it is all available, but it requires somebody's push to just to start using. Like a few means last month I was in training at IIM Jammu, and their tool is discussed for teachers, napkin.ai.
Napkin, okay.
Yes. So napkin.ai, it is a tool which converts your paragraph into creative means good. It's a good representation tool for making PPTs. Very wonderful, creative things are made.
Okay.
So I have used it, and I recommended my colleagues also. They also loved it. So there are many kinds of tools available, but people like you, when emphasize on that particular use of it, people get used to it. So, dear participant, if you have any queries, you just please ask, sir, and otherwise we will wind it up. It's very tiring. Sir is continuously taking session from 2:30, so it's nearly 4 hours now.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's enough. So, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have spared your whole day just for us. Thank you very much, sir. And sure, we will.
There are two people who have raised hand. I think they wanted to ask, Ali Ahmed and Kamran Rashid.
Yeah. Kamran and Mr. Ali, if you want to ask anything.
They have raised their hand. That's why I'm asking. Open queue.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, your session is very wonderful, but I have a single query. Actually, sir, you told about that there are a number of tools like consensus or can be used for research purpose.
Yes.
But nowadays, whenever we are going to submit paper in like Elsevier, then they are asked how much content that you have generated from AI.
Yeah.
So in that situation, what we need to do?
Actually, sir, I am not asking you. If you critically examine what I have asked you, that is content generation is not at all is desirable, I should say, right? We should not generate any sort of content, but let's say finding out the real literature in the area in which you are into. Okay, for that purpose, without any ethical problem, right, you can very well use the tools like, say, Research Rabbit or Consensus, but don't go beyond that. Okay, let's say if you try to use it as generating a complete paper or maybe little bit, a portion of it. Okay, definitely this Plag tool, I think somebody was referring to. So Plag tool has got that functionality. So Plag tool will definitely come out clearly that this much stuff in terms of percentage has been generated by some or the other AI tool, right? So see, the Plag tools are equally becoming more competent to identify. Okay, and that's why they say, we don't use these tools for creative or article writing. Okay. But you may use it for, as I said, for literature survey, identifying the real stuff in your domain, okay, or anything wherein you are not compromising your ethics, right? So up to that extent, you can very well. I hope I have answered your query.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Kamran, sir.
Mr. Ali, you want to ask anything?
Ali Ahmed, sir. Achha, by mistake, probably.
I think by mistake.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. So that's let's conclude, and thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You have given so much time, and we surely try to utilize these tools in our daily life and academics and research purposes. Dear participants, we'll meet again on Monday, 2:30 p.m. and for the session of Professor Ashhab Qadir, Department of Kulliyat, AK Tibbiya College, AMU. He will be talking on IKS, Holistic Health in Ayush. Okay, sir. Okay. So,
Thank you, sir.
participants, I have shared a Google Sheet just to get your entries corrected. If you haven't done it yet, please do it. Okay, I have pasted the name who have not completed their entries complete. So please, if you know them, please convey my message. And one more thing, try to be active during session and join the session completely, because your attendance is being monitored electronically, and if it falls below a certain line, the certificate will not be issued. It's as per the government norms. So please be careful. Okay. So we'll take bye for today, and we will be meeting inshallah on Monday, 2:30 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.